All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After a full day of fighting clawing all the way to the top, we have come away now with two teams fighting their way into the finals. We've got Ohio State Scarlet versus University of Cincinnati Pink. Best of three. Who wins you the championship. And I'm Bastion Ives. I'm joined by Mito, and we are burning through these picks and bans here.
Yeah, and already we can see the bans coming through. Zyricon, they don't want any part of that. Rel as well taken out. And one of the first picks actually by University of Cincinnati here, taking the Taric into their hands. That's one that I feel like I don't see enough. I love watching some Taric gameplay. I like his ultimate. It's very interesting to see how that could work and how you can kind of like separate it to still work between the teams. So that'll be fun to see exactly how they go about that and what ADC they decide to pair up with it. A Zeri, not too surprising there. Probably the third. We said Zaya and Kaisa have probably been top two, and Zeri I feel like is also up there.
Yeah, Zeri's always ready to carry. And even just a couple of the bans come out here. Aatrox was a big pick for UC in their last series, as well as Sejuani. K-Man, the jungler for the side of UC, is a very strong Sejuani player, has at times been the number one Sejuani player in the world. So they're taking him off some of his comfort. They picked Jace and Lulu as their second and third pick. So OSU falling back on a bit of comfort from their last game, having that Jace available to them, and picking up the Lulu for some potential for a hyper carry in the bottom lane. However, they won't get to see what that AD carry pick is until second phase of the draft.
Yeah, so now UC picking what probably is going to be their jungler here, I assume, and then their bans will probably be more geared towards ADC bans. No, actually deciding to go with the mid lane, Lissandra. That'll be fun to see going through here. Very good roots. Instantly going to be able to get that through, and a nice ultimate to save themselves or to capture an enemy at any moment. But now, looking through it, I'm sure UC is probably going to be banning out Kaisa here. They don't really know exactly what they might want to play on the side of OSU if this Jace is going to be going top or mid. It played mid before, but maybe they change it up this game.
Could see where that gets changed up. However, I'm guessing that's still just going to be a Jace mid. We've got the Viego and the Sivir being the next two bans coming on out. We will see what our next set of bans are. But really just, it's going to be very interesting to see how these two teams pair off. They had yet to play each other. I believe they have yet to play each other in the tournament. Yes, they were on opposite sides of the bracket. So these teams have yet to see each other in combat on the Rift today. Ezreal is the final ban for the side of UC, not wanting to allow that poke comp, and a third jungler targeting over at K-Man. The Jarvan, the fourth, banned on out. So we'll be very interesting to see where they go with this. If they're just going to default back to something like the Nocturne they've used before. And it looks like, yep, Nocturne is the pick for the side of University of Cincinnati.
Yeah, and the Nocturne, great pick to go through here, but the Lulu I feel like could have some potential just in case that Lulu is going to be around in that bot lane. The ADC has a little bit of a comfort to go with it. They have the shield that'll immediately come out. They have the ultimate, making them a lot more healthy and a lot bigger going in throughout that fight. So Lulu, I feel like if you are going to be going up against a Nocturne, is kind of nice to see. And Aphelios actually coming out as the ADC. That one, personally, Aphelios for me is so much fun to watch. I love how players know exactly what guns to cycle through, which ones work together, and then they're somehow able to stay on that the entire time, making sure they rotate out their guns correctly. A lot of thinking goes in with Aphelios, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely a lot of skill expression coming in from Aphelios with that good old-fashioned 200 years. So we have still some very premier AD carries in the Aphelios versus Zeri composition, and Ornn to be the top laner to finish off for OSU, with the Gwen being the final pick from UC. So very fast on this draft. People are looking to get into this game. They are looking to be ready to go. And man, this is an impressive lineup. We've got several masters, grandmasters, hell, even some challenger players sitting in this lobby. So very high level talent coming across from both of these squads. And some very exciting compositions we do have. We got a lot of good team fighting coming in from both sides, both Ohio State and Cincinnati. And so we'll see just kind of where things go.
Yeah, and I feel like both of these teams are kind of geared towards like somewhat of a not necessarily strong, but not a weak early game. And then they do have those characters that scale, especially Ornn. You're making it to that late game. Yeah, you're scared of that Gwen and that Zeri, who've just been scaling out throughout the whole time. But Ornn, you're giving them those more powerful mythics onto every single player of OSU if they're able to make it that far into the game. And of course, I feel like UC want to make it that far just because of what they'd like to run here. But that could actually not turn out to be in their favor. This Gwen's really going to have to punish this Ornn, which wouldn't be too crazy to see happen.
Yeah, shouldn't be too crazy to see that happen. But to your point, Ornn eventually starts handing out those ornaments, gives those enhanced items. Aphelios, famously known for that good old-fashioned hitting 200 years. So the scaling on the side of Ohio State is really strong, but also the scaling on the side of UC is quite strong too. Gwen late game, Zeri late game, the Tarek ult coming on down. You got a lot of scariness on both sides of these compositions, so it should be really interesting to kind of see how both these teams want to play things on out. You know, going lane by lane, Gwen should be able to beat the Ornn early. Nocturne versus Maokai power farming. I'd give the edge to the Nocturne. I think he's a better power farmer than Maokai. Agreed. Maokai's got better early gank setup, but the level 6 I feel favors the Nocturne. What do you think of the mid and the bottom lane matchups?
For mid and bot lane, I feel like Jace actually does have a little bit more of an advantage here in the mid lane, being able to swap from that range to just kind of like pick over at the Lissandra, get the minions fairly easy. And if the Lissandra does decide to go in, you just immediately transform, knock her away, so that way you don't have to worry about that at all. Then looking over towards bot lane, this one's more up in the air for me. I feel like this is just going to come down to player skill expression and making sure that they're not pushed up too far, or maybe that jungler for the sides of either or coming in. So like you said, Nocturne's going to have the better farm, so we're probably going to see a gank come in a little bit faster for Nocturne on the side of UC. But team fight wise, I feel like it's just slightly in the edge of OSU. You have that Ornn ultimate to come through there, which could bait out that Tarek ult, or vice versa. Maybe you do that with the Maokai to bait it out. But the Gwen, I feel like, is going to be safe for most of this, though. It's mainly just affecting all these other players on the side of UC.
Yeah, the Gwen's going to be an interesting pick, because Gwen can be an absolute terror. If this Gwen gets ahead, she's going to get on the Aphelios and just cook him. Absolutely melt him. Snip him up with a billion true damage. So again, both these team comps are so scary late. The thing I would give the advantage to with UC, they can dive so much better than Ohio State. So if they can have proper setup, if they can funnel in so that way only one person is getting hit by that Maokai ult, you pop the Tarek ult on your Zeri and your Gwen, everybody from Ohio State's going to melt. Everyone from OSU is going down.
Yeah, it's really just going to be how they play the game, get those items stacked up on each other to see where they can fight their way through, getting vision set up on objectives, which I feel like is going to be absolutely insane throughout these fights. They need to get those rifts and dragons to try to put themselves up a little bit more ahead so they can just scale a tiny bit faster. And I've said it before in the game prior, where it was OSU Scarlet versus Gray. The snowball, they need to find a way to make it through here, because if either team starts to pick up steam, you're just in for a rough time no matter what.
Absolutely agree. But what do you all think? Let us know, hashtag OSU win or hashtag UC win. But we are going to a break, and when we return, we'll be in for game 1 of these finals, Ohio State versus University of Cincinnati. We'll see y'all soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Welcome to the Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open Grand Finals. We have OSU Scarlet versus UC Pink hitting up the Rift for this game 1 of the best of 3 here. I am Basket Knives, joined by Mito, and we are right onto the Rift with some level 1 posturing, a couple wards placed down, and likely not too much action happening here in the first 90 seconds.
Yeah, Fire just running around right now, trying to see if they can at least get a proc off on their first strike, get a little bit of gold, and start moving from there right now. No one really trying to be super aggressive, as they shouldn't. They know, both of them, that they are scaling team comps, so no reason to already put yourself at a little bit of a deficit. Just chilling, seeing if you can get any information on the your counterparts, whether it be bot lane, mid, or top. It looks like they're both going to be starting this top side here, Nocturne on the red, so pathing down towards bot. Same goes for Maokai.
Yeah, not too much action I'm predicting to happen too early. We have the Maokai starting on his wolves, and we've got Nocturne starting on the red buff. So it'll be interesting to see where these jungle paths go for, if they're going to go for either early ganks level 2 or 3, or if they're going to try to full clear down to impact this bottom lane. But really quickly, going through our lineups here, we do have on the side of Ohio State, we've got OSU Cyborg in the top lane, Miller 68 in the jungle, Fire in the mid lane, Blue rocking the AD carry, and Knight as his support.
And over on the side, you see Pink. I mean, we got
yeah, that's right. I'm handing it off to you, friend.
Hamlet, and then beyond ADC, Cobble going through it right now. Just the lineups are insane. Like we said before, it's about a Masters average here. Blue being challenger, however, though, so expect to see some crazy plays hopefully coming through by them, being so many above. You know, can they express that through their gameplay? And it looks like they are, as they're already pushing this wave under tower.
Yep, I mean, you do have the range advantage from both Aphelios and Lulu early on, so not too surprising that Beyond ADC is pushed under tower. However, you do have K-Man coming down, clearing out to his bottom side. Both junglers are clearing top down, so I'm expecting them to either meet for a mid lane gank or a bottom lane gank, depending on where pressures are at. Shocky putting a ward down to hopefully prevent any top lane ganks, but I don't see Maokai coming up there anytime in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, what we should be seeing, though, is possibly Fire going in for a little bit of a trade here. Definitely coming out on top of that one, it seems. But low on mana could mean that they have to back here fairly soon.
Yeah, definitely putting some pressure onto Hamlet. And now actually looking for a bit of vision himself. Or at least a little bit of pressure to see if they can get anything. Any vision on where K-Man is at. Nothing is showing up yet. And that scuttle is about to spawn. We see the red and the blue and purple guns coming in here for blue. A little bit of fighting going on here between Cyborg and Shocky, but probably not too much. And it looks like K-Man might be coming in for a first gank of the game. Trying to get in on there. Flashing forward onto Fire. Fire utilizing the hammer strike to knock back K-Man, but the path is falling him on through. Does walk away, though. Does not have to burn a summoner, so that's a summoner of loss for K-Man, and nothing sacrificing the side of OSU.
Yeah, and I was about to say, you're not too upset about how the wave is right now, leaning a little bit more towards Lissandra, but of course using that teleport so that way they could get all that CS and not have to miss out on any of that. Now fighting for this top scuttle. Nocturne spotted out here, probably just going to take this and run, but the Gwen just going in for massive trades onto Cyborg right now.
Oh yeah, definitely taking advantage of the early power. And also just having mana advantage. Right now, Cyborg is basically out of mana, so not too much is going to come from him. Hamlet, however, is still sitting in a good spot. Has yet to recall yet, but Fire did get that critical back of at least having 400 gold, so he could get the Tear of the Goddess and start stacking that up as soon as possible, so he can get to his Muramana as early as possible in this game.
Bot lane taking this opportunity to back right now and try to come up with a little bit of advantage. They notice that, though. They're like, hey, they're missing here. Probably gonna figure out that they're backing sooner or later. So not too much happening this game. We've seen the one gank go through, and that's pretty much it. Every other time it's just been maybe a little trading in lane, maybe a little bit of a hey, how you doing in the jungle here or there from the Maokai or the Nocturne. Other than that, these teams are playing it not necessarily passive, but they're not really aggressive at all.
They're definitely playing it safe. Now the question is it timidness, or is it them building up the calm before the storm? Are we having them just trying to play with respect to one another, or are they just really going, we're waiting for our opportunity and then we're going to strike?
Yeah, and I mean, with this first dragon now being up and ready to be taken at any moment, maybe Scarlet on OSU decide that, hey, you know what? We have the chance. We have the time to go for this. Maybe we clear this bot wave and go in. There could be a bit of a gank happening towards here as this Maokai's hanging out towards the Krugs.
There could be a gank that comes through, however, it will likely get spotted on out. And with Killer only being level 5, odds are he's not going to go for that gank. Is being spotted out on that vision, pinged out by the side of UC. Nocturne is already level 5 though, so he's going to be looking to power farm off probably 2 or 3 more camps to get himself to level 6 and then likely have that first major impact gank with his ultimate. So we'll see where they go with that.
And right now, he's kind of hanging out towards the top side. Of course, probably just waiting for the camps to come up, but maybe he tries to spot out Cyborg while they're running away from their lane. But as this is going on, Miller is seeing this as the opportunity to take over this dragon right now and secure the first one for them.
Yep, and it looks like they're gonna get this for free. There's no way UC comes on down. First dragon goes over the side of OSU. All right, secured there by Miller as well as the Scuttle and bottom side. Still waiting on level 6s from these junglers. However, we do have level 6s on both solo lanes, and now level 6 on the side of blue for Ohio State.
Yeah, and they have plenty to go in on here as this wave pushes forward. So, of course, Pink on the side of UC decide to just sit back, keep playing it slow. They don't want to get caught out too early. But Shocky, they're the most aggressive person in this match right now, just trying to get Cyborg down in CS. But
here comes the paranoia. Nocturne coming on in. K-Man has found his mark for first blood. The flash was not enough to save fire, and first blood goes over to the side of UC Pink.
Yeah, they love that for them, but the root comes through here onto the Zeri. Looks like they were able to make it out just in time, though. Low, but backing now. I mean, Lysandra has got the opportunity to start making up that CS advantage. They have a stack on the Dark Seal, which has just seen its rounds made again and again. Nice, cheap item that can provide you great value, of course, as long as you don't lose out on the stacks falling. And the tower play going over to blue as well. So blue's going to have, I feel like, a fairly good advantage here when it comes to items when they come back into lane. This Zeri only has little bits and pieces of that Noon Quiver.
Yep, and I mean, the couple things you got going for you if you're Ohio State. Blue started call and already has 80 stacks of that item done. Got 2 tower plates, including one that was solo plate gold. So he's going to be coming back when he does go to base and come back to lane. He'll be coming back significantly stronger than beyond ADC. And we'll have to see if that's enough to kind of help siphon a bit of this advantage that UC has accumulated, about a 500 gold lead that they do have.
Yeah, I mean, the OSU, they're doing a great job at getting these objectives to just try to keep themselves going through. Now they have their Rift Herald, they got the first dragon, you know, so already setting themselves up for more of a late game success than Pink has right now. Clearing that wave relatively fast. K-Man padding down towards a bot here. Maybe they elect to try to get a pick. They might have spotted K-Man though, as they're going for a bit of a pinch potentially here.
They might be going for a pinch, but I don't think it's going to work out for blue the way that he wants. The Nature's Grasp swings and misses, and Fire's going in. Fire is still alive, going in for the hammer on Hamlet. Hamlet's still alive. Here comes in the Zeri. She is looking scary and gets the double kill for the side of UC. A huge advantage over to them, utilizing all the ultimates they had available to them, not even having the paranoia up yet, not even having that Nocturnal available, but we're able to utilize everything from Zeri, from Lysandra, and from Tarek to get a huge advantage and blow this game open with a 1,500 gold lead.
Yeah, and they're going to continue that advantage as K-Man's taking those camps away from Miller right now on the red side, just stealing the buff and then making their way out. Oof, that's gonna really be tough for them to come back here on the bot side. The Zeri now with 2 kills to their name. Before, it seemed like there was a bit of an advantage for blue, and still is CS-wise, but Zeri has really good items right now. They have full boots. They're building up towards that static shiv here, but they got the Kraken Slayer, so that Tarek could go down fairly fast here. The Zeri may not have as much of a shield as they believe they do. Should
be an interesting way to see if they fight, because they're about on even footing right now. Zeri will likely back here soon and pick up that static shiv by having those 2 kills to her name, but roughly even footing here and still the range advantage that you have if you are OSU on this bottom side of going with Lulu definitely will outrange a Zeri and Tarek. And Ohio State is dropping down the Rift Herald, not able to stop the stun. At this point, you more or less cannot stop Rift Herald from being spawned once it started to be spawned. It's going to be first tower going over. On the other side, Shocky getting the solo bolo onto Cyborg, and Paranoid's coming back on in. Fire is not long for this world. The Hamlet C9 K-Man combo, mid and jungle hitting in so hard here. 5-0 for the side of UC Pink. However, still only 1,000 gold as the advantage.
Yeah, we saw OSU last game. Scarlet did such a good job playing with those objectives that even though they may not have had the lead in kills, they were still hanging around at the same gold because of that. And granted, that was a very good call to go bot lane there. You know, the Zeri was going to be up. You want to get your Aphelios at least to the same level. So you might as well try to get that turret taken out, get some extra gold in the pocket of not only everyone, but especially that Aphelios to even up the playing field. But then unfortunately you lose your top, you lose your mid. So ultimately that trade is still nice, but Pink are, you know, at the end, they're happy with this totaling exchange.
With this exchange, however, Ohio State is not done. They're responding with a second dragon to their name. Looks like UC is not even going to contest it. You can see K-Man in the top lane, grabbing that top tower for themselves. Huge chunk of damage going in onto CBLOL Silver. And just, you know, now we just get to kind of get back to a little bit of a neutral ball state. We've got more or less both powers on opposite sides taken. We've got about even plating here in mid lane, so it's back to a bit of the calm. And we're going to see when that next storm hits. I'm predicting it's going to be in about the next 20 to 30 seconds. With that knockdown available, Paranoid coming right back on in. Here comes everyone coming on in. When popping the ult, trying to hit all those needles. Fire's taken down Tarek, looking to try to go a little further. Here comes the Ornhorn. However, he misses his own ultimate, and he might just end up going down now. I don't think Cyborg wanted to be there and is taken on down. You may have gotten 2 kills if you're Ohio State, but you got 3 on the side of University of Cincinnati.
Yeah, now they get these turret bladings that are, of course, still up before this 14-minute mark hits, but they're going to keep going in. Shocky notices Night low, but not quite able to get the pick there as Hamlet as well tries to go in for a little bit of the action now.
Yeah, Blue's got a huge chunk of damage. Pops the Moonlight Vigil. Does get the root. Is he going to root down beyond? No, is not able to before he gets away. Dazzle does not land. Fire's looking for a little bit more. Not able to get much out of that, though. OSU's trying to get a counterpunch. However, the waves are not in a good enough spot for them to be able to get anything besides some hope damage.
Yeah, I think right now on the side of OSU, they're probably looking to try to get this next rift coming up here fairly soon in the next 30 seconds. Maybe set up for that. They don't want to really lose out on too much more here. They know they're down in kills. Objectives, they're starting to catch up now with the towers being taken top lane here and chunking down that one in mid. So Pink, really, the only thing that they're down behind in right now is drags.
Yeah, that's about it. It's just a dragon diff, and we do have an Ocean Soul on the board. An Ocean Map is what's coming up, and Fire is not again long for this world. We've seen this move before. I've seen the sequel, and now we've got ourselves the trilogy for this one. 3 kills in a row onto this Jace. 3 times it's the mid and jungle duo.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like if they aren't able to get it at this point, we might see how the Fast and the Furious go and get ourselves 10 going through here, but a big engage coming in from OSU.
Yep, we've got already coming on in. Blue is trying to fight it off. He is doing a ton of damage, but not enough. The Cosmic Radiance as well as the Dazzle knocking him on down. Shocky comes back on in and snips that Yordle away. And it is just University of Cincinnati running away with this game, picking up second Rift Herald, and just having a massive advantage here You've got 5-0 in the top, and you've got 3-0 in the mid lane, 3-0 in the bottom lane. Gwen is trying to walk away. However, thanks to the Hollow Myth, does not get brought down, and thanks to the Bastion and all the heals, here comes in Cosmic Radiance going down again. Once again, Fire is taken on down. This Jace has done a whole lot of nothing so far this game. Cyborg might not be doing a whole lot either. All they're doing is feeding Shocky with this Gwen. Snip, snip goes the doll. 7-0 to her name.
Yeah, absolutely insane there. I cannot believe. I was too surprised when Shocky made it out. But the fact that they were able to turn that around and then get picks off of what should have been a lost skirmish there was very, very good by UC. And it looks like they're going to be doing it again. I mean, they just have great team play right now.
Oh yeah, and here comes the paranoia. They're looking to go on in again. Amen spotting on in under that inner tower and still walks away alive. No, he ends up going down. The last bit of damage from Fire is enough. However, it's a 2 for 2 right now. Rift Herald's being hot. Nature's Grasp coming on in. Let's pick up everyone but the Gwen. Hamlet goes into stasis. Is he going to make his way on out? He does with the frozen path. Let's get on out. Shocky's still looking for a little bit more. Trying to poke on down. Destroy Miller. And now we're walking away. OSU is fighting back. However, University of Cincinnati is just slapping them with their wallets right now.
Yeah, they're just they just have such a massive gold advantage. Now they can start fighting these drags super confidently. You don't have that Ornn ult ready. It should be up probably by the time you're going to decide to fight this here. You're not going to have your Maokai ult though, however, so you only have to defend against the one. You're not sweating too hard here, especially if you're the Gwen. You can easily dodge one and then continue to go in. They have the Riftmaker, the Nashor's Tooth. They even just have a Blasting Wand on hand now. I feel this has just got to be their drag. OSU deciding not to fight. This is definitely the best call we can make.
And for OSU, for Cyborg Italy, who are you hitting with that Ornn ult? You've got dashes across the board. You've got immunes across the board. It's going to be so difficult to actually land a meaningful Ornn ult, and it looks like, once again, Fire's trying to get something done here. Does get the wild throw from you, and they do get the shutdown. That is finally a big shutdown going over onto this Jace. Needs to get himself back in this game. Needs to get his Muramana. Like Cyborg's popped back out again. Utilizing the Ornn, but it is off or not. It is just the horn lamenting his death.
And now they get this bottom turret again for free now as they take him out. This is very good for Pink. I mean, these trades, they've only really lost that top tower from that. They're getting kills, they're getting objectives. They are so far into this game now, almost at a 10k lead. Cool. If you're Scarlet or if you're OSU right now, you're just looking to try to get a pick here, but you're a little too afraid of Shocky right now and going in hard.
A little too afraid, and there goes in Nocturne. However, Blue does get out, and they take down the Nocturne. They're trying to get away. Is rooted on up. Radiance trying to keep it alive, but does not in time. Fire throws the hammer down, takes down Beyond, and it looks like there might be a little bit more there coming back from the Great Beyond. Shocky might go down as well here too. Is taken on down. There's only 2 left on the board for the side of University of Cincinnati. Baron is up in 30 seconds. However, with the short death timers, they are not going to be able to find their way out of there. However, they might be able to put some pressure on this outer mid tower.
Yeah, and the Nocturne has been going in so much. Now we can see Guardian Angel being the second item picked up here for them. K-Man is just going to be looking for every opportunity to go in, which I feel like that opportunity that they took there to go in kind of actually spelled the doom for that fight. Now that gold lead shrinking more and more by the second. As OSU, they were very happy with that. You were able to take out K-Man just because they went under tower. It was such a fast burst. And then at that point, UC was basically overextended. They had so many means to keep going in onto them, but do they have the means to go onto them now as they're just starting up this Baron and trying to shred it, and that they are.
I mean, zero fear. So Cyborg does not have teleport. Cyborg will not be in this Baron fight if it extends more than about another 5 seconds. Came in immediately going on in, as well as Hamlet. They're going in for fire once again. However, the GA is popped. Hamlet is taken on down by Miller. You got Dazzle, you got Zeri coming on in. She's looking scary. We got that Electroshock Pikachu coming on down. And we've got 1 for 3
Now they can actually take
coming
it
back over onto the Baron now. Should be there. There's really not too much of a way unless we get a massive Moonlight Vigil coming in. However, there's a ton of healing coming in from Tarek. Horn's gonna come on in. It will hit. It does take down the Zeri. Zeri did get locked on down. However, what was the cost? Shocky took down Blue, and it's an ace for the side of University of Cincinnati. Really hammering home their dominance in this first game, and Baron will be theirs.
Yeah, getting that first Baron, they're going to be able to lead that into getting probably more towers. They're probably looking towards that top side since that's the only one that's really having a lane still up. Maybe just looking to defend. And now you also have the next dragon coming up in about a minute 30. Controlling these lanes and being able to go into OSU's jungle here on the red side, get that vision down, control all this space for Dragon. I mean, this is where the snowball starts.
Yep, and they are snowballing away. Dragons in a minute 15. And at this point, if you're OSU, I think you're just really thinking about what next game. I don't see too much of a way. You've got an 11-1 Gwen on the other side. You've got a 6-3 Zeri. You've got you're staring down the barrel of a 10K deficit at this point, and it's just, man.
It's tough. Sometimes there isn't really a clear way out, and it's just playing slow, hoping a mistake gets made, and just punishing for that as much as you can. But with how UC's been playing, there's not much mistakes to have. The only mistake that really happened, yes, they were able to make up for that and win that team fight when Cayman went under the tower, but past that, they've been playing outstanding.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, should be. Oh, man, this is such a tough position if you're the side of Ohio State, and if you're UC, you're just sitting pretty. This dragon should be yours. There is not really a way that I see Ohio State coming back on in, and with another death over, thanks to Shocky just getting these solo kills left, right, and center. Like, this Gwen is terrifying.
Yeah, even if you decide, yeah, I'm scared of the Gwen, I'm not going to go near there. Where else are you going to go? If you find your way in front of that Lysandra, she still has plenty of damage to put you down if the Nocturne ult as well. And then the same thing goes for the Zeri. You see that Zeri, okay, where's the Tarek? He's just going to help her out. Where's the Nocturne? They also could still just ult you. So UC has quite the team composition running in for them. And now they take that second drag, tying it up drag-wise. But, I mean, that was all they were down, and they've made that space back up. OSU, right now, they really just need some kind of vision to understand where this Nocturne is, because if you see him maybe on that top side, you try to enforce a gauge bot side. But right now, of course, everybody on UC hanging out in that bot.
Yep, UC is just sitting pretty. They're having a good time, and at this point, again, even the Ord scaling, you're not getting there. Orn's only on level 13. He has just upgraded one item so far, and that's his own, with Radiant Virtue, and so, man, it's just it's a tough position for them to be in right now. If you're OSU, you're just thinking what the next game is.
Yeah, playing it the best of your abilities. Try to do as much as you can, as much as behind as you are. Maybe that Orn, if they can get him to scale just a little bit more, get those levels, but you can't send him on a solo lane, unfortunately, because that Gwen is just going to match him and then take him out immediately and just stop it altogether. Who are you looking to use your next Orn item on if you even do get it, though?
And it's not even going to really matter, I think, because right now C9 K-Man's going on in with the handle. However, Fire's learned. He has learned after 3 movies. This is probably not the way to do it. So he managed to get himself on out. And honestly, at this point, if you are to answer your original question here, if we got some time, it doesn't look like we've got time. Wild goes coming on in. Here comes the Cosmic Radiance. No one is going in down except for Fire. The Gwen is igniting everyone up. Goes on in. Snips the tree on down. That is not a tree. That is a twig for the side of Shocky. But Shocky ends up going down. Woo! People getting the kill. Knight getting the kill. OSU Blue is looking to go on back. Does take on and take down Tarek, and we actually have a pretty good comeback. You got 3 kills off of that. That was an impressive comeback.
Yeah, no, OSU found themselves at the advantage at the start. They had the 4v5 as Beyond ADC was hanging out mid lane, farming to try to keep their lead up, and now wants to be aggressive.
Yeah, definitely looking to be aggressive, and Beyond just jumping right on in, annihilating Blue, he thought he could farm. No, you cannot farm against Azeri. She is there. She is ready to carry. She is quite scary. And wow, what a game so far. UC has not closed out yet, but they would have to throw a lot to really be able to come away with the loss on this one. So I think they're still in a pretty prime position to win, but they do need to be a little careful with some of these, you know, some of these crazy dives they are starting to put out.
Yeah, and Baron's coming up soon as well. So even if they're having to worry about a dive from OSU, you're also gonna have to worry about losing that Baron to them. So they're gonna have to force this Baron fight. They have an open inhibitor mid. They only have those inhibitor turrets left on both their top and bot side. So I think that's what they're going to be looking to do here, is try to push up mid, maybe get some control and vision over towards that Baron, and maybe find themselves again at a 5-4 advantage to try to win another fight.
It should be interesting and likely will be tough for OSU to win these fights. However, they likely can. We are starting to get some levels. So level 14 in the orange is likely going to go for the Aphelios to be able to get the next Ornn item on. However, Blue does end up taking on down Shocky again, getting caught out there. Third death of the game, but it was going ahead and it was being rather difficult.
Now they have Sandra trying to push the bot, but boy, they want more. They're starving. They're hungry.
Yep, and Beyond AC might be getting caught out here. Does get knocked up through the bounce house and taken on down.
OSU, I hate to say this, but I feel like they found their way back in here as they're just taking this turret, now taking this inhibitor, gonna back up off of that. Happy with all that gold they just collected there. Now only down about 4K.
Yeah, and I mean, they caught UC with their pants down. They had Hamlet in the bottom lane, they had Payman in the top lane, and that's just a little bit sloppy from them. They couldn't get their engage on in, and they're getting punished, and they might lose this Baron. I'm expecting them to look for a potential steal, but nope, no Nocturnal coming on in. They are going to be a little bit patient, and OSU's bringing it back. It is only a 2,000 gold deficit now, 1,500 gold on this deficit. So, man, what a performance. However, UC should likely get this soul here, so they will be on the Ocean Soul point. But OSU's making them work for it. This is not as one-sided a game anymore as it was.
Yeah, no, OSU just gave us a great example of down but not out, as they seem to pick themselves back up here. Granted, now, UC on that soul point, like you said, you know, that's going to be a little scary moving forward here. So in the next 5 minutes, there's going to have to be some kind of exchange again being made here. All the bounty, however, on the players of UC have been collected. They found multiple people out of position multiple times. OSU, traveling as one big unit, are always at the advantage in a fight right now. So UC, I feel like, have to try and do a similar thing, or play so passive to where you can just have those split pushers keep going on these side lanes and then make their way back safe. Meanwhile, the other three hanging out at mid to try to slow down that push will hopefully not die as long as they just keep going back. And right now, I don't know if they're going back.
Going on in. Miller is saying, we want this Taric down. No Cosmic Radiance today. No ult for you, sir. You get nothing. And Ohio State is looking to try to run this on in. They know they have a 5 versus 4 advantage. However, Cyborg, again, is caught in the side lane without having teleport available, so they're just trying to keep UC in their base. However, this is a risky gambit if they do end up getting caught. With UC coming out in, here comes the Paranoid. Here comes Beyond going in. Immediately, K-Met is blown to pieces. However, so is Miller. And you've got Jace coming out of the Guardian Angel. However, he is only going to meet some devils on the other side once he goes on down. You ended up really not getting a whole lot out of that of your Ohio State. That's a huge overextension. And it looks like Blue's trying to go in on Shocky. However, that's not probably a fight you want. I don't believe you in that.
Yeah, no, immediately, as soon as I see that, they're like, you know what, we need to run the other way. We need to try to get out of here. But a good shot there from the Zeri, stopping them, and now it's going to be 2 picks.
Yep, and Knight and Blue are now just seeing the gray. They are taking on down. Just stayed there a little bit too long. That was really greedy of them.
Yeah, I liked how they were still pushed up though, seeing if maybe they could try to get one of those Nexus turrets, or at least keeping them there so the Ornn can level up and everybody can start getting their mythics upgraded by the Ornn. Unfortunately, we lose on 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's just the Ornn and the Maokai respawn though, so they're back in it. I don't think they're going to be able to take these towers, but who knows?
The Ornn ult is going to be a swing and miss. Cosmic Radiance is on for the 5, and it might just be enough. I don't think there's a way that Ohio State comes back from this, and UC finally puts their foot on down, takes down OSU Scarlet, 1-0 lead in these Game Arena Grand Finals. And what was thought to almost be a really strong comeback from the side of Ohio State, UC found the right picks. Ohio State overextended one too many times, and that one extra time is all it takes for University of Cincinnati to put the foot in the door and knock it right down.
Yeah, 100% agreed. I liked it, like I said, how they had that Ornn trying to level up, but then the issue was the overextending. They did it again and again there, and eventually it just ended up going south. I mean, losing out on blue there at the end when they should have been able to make it back to spawn in time, that really put the nail in the coffin. As we could tell, they just pushed up. They knew they weren't at any scare. That DPS is out of the way. They don't have to worry about any of that. Free Nexus, free first game for them. In the end, it may have gotten sweaty, a little scary, but works out for them, so well played.
Oh yeah, definitely well played from both teams. Great opening from the side of UC. They were able to bring it back, not let OSU clutch away the jaws victory from defeat. I completely messed up that analogy, but that's all right. But on the other side of this break, we'll be coming back here for game number 2, potentially the last game of this tournament if University of Cincinnati can take down Ohio State for 2-0. Or Ohio State if they can make the comeback to bring us to a game 3. But we'll be cutting it to a break. When we return, we'll be in here for draft of game 2. University of Cincinnati up 1-0 on Ohio State. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome on back to the Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open Grand Finals. University of Cincinnati Pink has taken game 1 in this best of 3 versus Ohio State Scarlet, and we are already once again blowing through these picks and bans. We've got Aatrox, Orion, and Sejuani for the side of OSU Scarlet, and Zaya, Rakan, and Rel for the side of University Cincinnati Pink, and Maokai and Tarek being the first 2 picks of this draft. Once again, my name is Baskin and Eyes. Once again, we've got Maito with me, and we are bringing you this cast.
Yeah, and it feels like we're repeating history right now, as I believe the bans are exactly the same. The picks so far were exactly the same until now Sivir showing up on the side of OSU. Maybe that's exactly what they want to do for.
Liking the Sivir Lulu pick. I think Sivir's going to be a bit better of an adaptation to see if they can get a little bit more power, as well as have some late game potential with how good Sivir is late in the game, and as well as a little bit of safety. That spell shield is so strong into so many picks. But yeah, I was detecting a bit of the salty run back, but not quite, as we now also have the Kindred for University of Cincinnati to see if they get their themselves ahead early. Renekton as the ban for UC, wanting to take away some power here from the side of OSU's top laner.
Yeah, and it's fun to see the Tarek and the Kindred together, because now you know, like, okay, taking out players on the side of UC is going to be very, very tough. But thankfully, they banned the Gwen here, which if they would have let that go through, that would have been very scary. So I'm glad that was their first ban here on the second. They got their ones that they really wanted banned out of the way. Now it's like, okay, well, let's stop what happened last match a little bit here.
Yeah. The big thing is it's that if you're behind and you lost a game, and you know that there was a condition that you ran into that you're like, nope, we're just not winning this. You want to make them have to show you something different. If they're going to beat you again, make them beat you on something different. And so smart from them to ban away the Gwen. Hey, you don't get this anymore. Will that be enough of a factor to sway the top lane? We don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming they're going to save top lane again for counter pick. I'm projecting another mid laner here, whether that be a Syndra, an Ahri, or another Lissandra. There's a lot of different picks they could do for this mid lane, and I'm expecting that they're going to save their counter pick for top lane.
Yeah, and I feel like it's possible to go with a Lissandra, but I would actually be kind of surprised. I feel like that Lissandra was only really strong because they had that Nocturne that went in with them so often. The Kindred going into this now, I feel like they'll go with something else, and they end up going with Nico. That will be very fun to see. I love me a good minion Nico that sneaks out of the blue and doesn't make you feel like you just got absolutely outplayed by someone dressed as a little caster.
Oh yeah, either that or the Scuttle Crab on the Rift. There's always all the fun things going on. But Tristana as the mid lane counter, Tristana and Nico has been a match that you've seen a lot in professional play. So no surprise that we're actually seeing it here. And Gragas as the top lane pick here. So definitely going for a different look here on the side of Ohio State. Definitely trying to be some aggressive players here. And it should just be really interesting to see kind of what UC throws down as their last pick. They go for kind of a tank because they're a little bit light on durability outside of the Taric, but they're going to go for Olaf. So really wanting to go at Ohio State and just run them down.
Yeah, and I'm actually really happy to see this Gragas pick top lane here. Ornn also has like his knock up, his displacement, but Gragas has that knock back, you know? So let's say the Taric is going in with his team. The Gragas throws down his ult. Suddenly the team's scattered. Not many people will benefit from that Taric ult. Same thing for the Kindred. Kindred has their ult on the ground. People are benefiting from it. Psych. Everybody's out of it again. And same could be said for Nico going in as well, potentially. But to a definitely a lot less of an extent. I really am excited to see this Gragas pick go through here and how the team fights are actually going to be decided by that ultimate.
Should definitely be interesting. A lot of ults that are going to change the game here. You've got the Tristana knockback to knock out of the Kindred ult. You've got the Gragas knockback. But you also have Olaf that's going to say, screw the rules, screw your ults. I'm running at you. And if he's running at you with a Cosmic Radiance from Taric on him, then God help you. That is not going to be a good time.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be the scariest part here. So, I mean, thankfully, since you are the Gragas, though, you can probably play this laning phase a little bit more passive if there's really like something you can't get to that you might have to sacrifice a little bit of health for. You can just throw out your Q and take them that way. Kind of looking at these teams, I feel like this is definitely going to be geared a lot more towards that bot and mid lane from the Maokai on the side of OSU. Meanwhile, UC feels like they can kind of go wherever they want with the Kindred. It's not really necessarily forcing you to pick a certain spot. But of course, you're going to be caught out by that Kindred. As soon as you see that mark get on you, you know to run back or to at least proceed with caution.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see how with Kindred, there's always the metagame of, do you go for the mark? Do you go the opposite side of the mark? Do you use the mark as bait for someone to then be forced to feel they have to play safer? You know, there's some of the mind games that some of these higher level players will try to use. So it'll be very interesting to see, and that's where it's, you know, you got plenty of mind games. You have the Nico transforms, you've got the Kindred marks, you've got all these different little things that UC can try to do as tricks up their sleeves to play into Ohio State. And on the side of Ohio State, again, a very different comp, much more explosive. They want to dive in on you, and they've definitely got a lot better wave clear this game than they did last game. So that should also be pretty interesting for them. If they do fall behind, they can probably have a good bastion of safety in their base. But I don't know, UC's been showing a really strong composition so far, and I think that Zeri Taric was a really strong sticking point for them. And we'll see if OSU's adapted enough to be able to overcome that hurdle.
Yeah, I mean, they've played with it before, so maybe, you know, just coming back from that game, they had this little bit of time to kind of understand, you know, what exactly went wrong during that matchup. Of course, it's got to be a little bit different now that the champions are going up against are separated from what they were before. I'm excited really to see how this Tristana is going to be able to work around the map. Same thing goes for the Nico. I feel like these mid laners are going to be going for a lot of good roams. And really it's just going to depend on if they're able to succeed in their roams, whether that be just helping secure early objectives like just the river scuttles coming up, or going for full out double ganks with their jungler towards the top or bot side.
Yeah, should be a very interesting game to see, to say the least. And of course, for those that are just joining us, University of Cincinnati Pink is up 1-0 on OSU Scarlet. So this is match point for University of Cincinnati. If they win this, they take home the prize money. They take home the trophy. They are the winners of this Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open for 2023. However, if Ohio State can make the comeback, we are sending it to Scarlet and Pink Scrapes, kind of similar to Silver Scrapes, but a little bit less hypey, and going to a game 3. So let us know in chat who you think is going to take this game. Do you have OSU or do you have University of Cincinnati? When we come back, we'll be on the rift for this game 2, potentially penultimate game of this Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open. We'll see you soon. All right, everyone, welcome on back to Summoner's Rift. We are in game number 2 of this Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open Grand Finals. University of Cincinnati Pink is up 1-0 on Ohio State Scarlet. And we are already on to the rift into the game. My name is Basket Knives. Joining me once again is Mito. And we've got, a very reserved and respectful start from both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise there. Both these teams did it before. Not shocked that they're doing it again here. Just looking around for vision, just like they did before. And I mean, going through this, it looks like they're both going to be pathing from top to bot side yet again. So these bot laners are going to have to be mindful and watch out for those ganks coming through. I think more so you're probably worried about it on the side of UC, since you have more of a lockdown going on with that Maokai. Meanwhile, the Kindred will just be coming through and doing a lot of damage.
Kindred's definitely going to be looking for trying to get, hopefully, the RNG of the first Scuttlecraft into the mark. And if you're the side of OSU, it's can we get lane pressure early so we can maybe counter that mark?
Yeah, and right now it looks like already lane pressure's already kind of made its way in here, as OSU are pushing up in both lanes, mid and bot, not allowing their counterparts to get anywhere near them. Meanwhile, this top lane is a lot more even, I'd say, here. Cyborg and Shocky just being somewhat respectful of each other, doing a little trade here and there, getting some minions.
Right now, pretty stock standard for these lanes. You're going to be able to get a good amount of pressure from Tristana mid into the Nico, as well as Lulu will definitely again pressure out the Zeri early. K-Man is spotted out on those Raptors, so we do have him being tracked right now. They should be able to know that he started red side and is working his way bottom.
Yeah, it's going to be really big for OSU because they have pushed up this lane very, very far. They know that he's just coming off the Raptors here, so they're probably good for another 30 seconds until they really want to back off here, or at least play some vision to try to figure out how exactly or when exactly this Kindred will be pushing it in. You also probably have to be worried right now if you're Fire. You're being very aggressive right now and you don't have that much health to your name. Granted, you have a pretty good escape on Tristana.
It does have a pretty good escape, but it also only takes one misplay of that to find yourself in the grave. And Fire has definitely been playing like his feet are on fire, playing very aggressive, playing very upfront this entire tournament that we've seen. And so we'll see if that kind of bites him in the butt more times than he needs it to. But how we are getting mid pressure and bot pressure enough to dissuade K-Man being able to get his own blue buff, and OSU Miller comes in with the steal. However, RNG favors K-Man giving that up to say, hey, I got myself a stack. I got myself a mark on the top side. I'm going to take that.
Yeah, you miss on your blue buff, but you get a stack. So for Kindred, honestly, not the worst thing in the world. Kind of stinks you miss on your blue buff, but you didn't die. You get your stack. You know relatively that you're safe in getting it as well. So right now, if you're on the side of OSU, you're chilling because you know that's where that Kindred is going to be heading towards. So this bot lane, of course, still being hyper aggressive, pushing this wave underneath tower every chance they get here. And it looks like the Tristana mid is also being very aggressive, just jumping in on that Nico down there, or up there rather.
Yeah, definitely looking to be aggressive and just that's what you have to do with some of these teams, some of these fights. You just need to be willing to say, hey, screw the rules, screw the book, screw the let's wait around till 6, let's farm it out, let's be cordial. No, throw some mud at them, throw some dirt at them, and just fight them. You know, that's what you're gonna be able to do. And a miss from Hamlet on the root from Nico is gonna cost him another chunk of his health bar. And Fire's gonna just get to again, just kind of be able to keep pushing on in, getting a little bit of some chip damage onto Hamlet. Again, another swing and a miss with that root from Nico. And we're seeing that. Right now, Fire's playing really well. However, K-Man is waiting in the wing. Knight is being caught out. Knight might be able to get away. Polymorph comes on in, and K-Man is forced to retreat. So, fortune favors the Brave on this one, and Knight and Fire were playing very brave today.
Yeah. Are they going to play smart here as Hamlet stuck down towards bottom? And it hits again onto Hamlet, so a little bit of extra chip damage, even though they're going to tower, is going to knock them lower. They know the Kindred is probably hanging up towards their wolves there. Maokai at the Raptors mid could be seeing some action going on here fairly soon as Fire just trying to push his wave in. Hits that 6 mark, and so does Hamlet, but ultimately not too much mana in the pocket of Hamlet there to actually make anything happen probably.
And you saw that Fire was playing smart. They knew that Maokai was on the top side, so let me play towards that top side. The only spot that Kindred can be is on the bottom side of the map. And right now is still playing a very good, slightly safe game. K-Man's looking to go on in. However, that rocket jump, very easy escape. No Summer's blown. And we're just kind of back to, again, to a little bit of even, just some farming it out, a little bit of some posturing. Chip damage back and forth, but nothing too crazy right now. But OSU secured themselves a 600 gold lead so far in this early game.
Yeah, they're doing really good right now. They're getting these plates again and again here. So while they may not be going up in kills, they're certainly finding gold where they can here. Beyond ADC might be able to take out Miller here, getting a little bit overwhelmed. The jungler coming in, taking over that river scuttle. Maybe a skirmish happens here, maybe it doesn't. Just seems like a bit of poke. You don't have a bunch of mana on blue right now. Your 2 helpers with the jungle and support also backing off a bit, so not really too much going to be happening here. But OSU doing a really good job right now at securing themselves an early on gold advantage, and this is what they need. You know, as soon as they start going down, that's when they have to make those risky plays. And we saw last game that unfortunately it just didn't work out at the end. They thought it was for a second. I thought it was for a second. I thought the comeback was there, but it just wasn't. So this game, they do not want to make that same mistake.
Absolutely are not looking to repeat the sins of the last game. Hopefully they are quick studies. A lot of these are college students, so hopefully they are learning. They are taking away some lessons from the last lecture, the last game, and are able to now come away wiser and stronger to be able to hopefully bring us to some better gameplay. And we'll see. Again, right now, very calm, very even game. A little bit of some tension, but nothing too crazy yet.
Yeah, but Shocky actually going through, getting that wave under tower, having to run through the jungle right now, could see a little bit of a fight going on here, but no. Looks like everyone deciding an engage isn't super necessary. No reason to go and throw away what little lead you have right now. Now, going back to their respective lanes, looking possibly here like they're going to be taking this Rift Herald, which would be absolutely insane for them. Probably will use that top to get Gragas back into the lane gold-wise here, as they're about 15 to 20 CS down against Zoloft.
Yep, you could definitely that Rift Herald to be top, or that Rift Herald to be mid as well. Again, one of the issues that Ohio State did have last game is they unable to crack open that mid tower for the longest time, and that is definitely your most advantageous tower to break open in order to make a lot of map difference in the game.
Yeah, Fire maybe a little bit too pushed up here. They don't know the danger they're in, as the Kindred kind of wrapping around right now, or maybe just going for this dragon.
And that could be a 3 dragon. You've got Ohio State on the reset bottom side. You've got Maokai in the top side of the jungle. Of course, they don't necessarily know that, but easy enough to say, hey, we saw them just get Rift Herald. We know that we can go for dragon. 1 + 1 = 2. Let's grab ourselves dragon.
Yeah, don't Don't find yourselves at a deficit in any way you can. Getting that first dragon, getting the first herald. If you got to trade them, trade them. It's no biggie there for them. Able to back out. Relatively chill game so far. Everybody's been playing, not necessarily like they don't want to fight, but waiting for the perfect moment to fight, it feels like. They don't want to jump the gun on either side because they know as soon as they go down, it could just start snowballing from there. Which the word of the day.
Looks like we've got Zeri coming on in, Flash Dazzle coming on in, and first blood does go to the one and only C9 man, taking down OSU Knight. Great heads up play, great Flash Dazzle from the side of Tarek, and breaks a little bit of this game open, but still very even on the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, you're expecting maybe something to happen here from this Maokai, unless they got spotted out by someone, a ward or person inside the jungle. Cyborg trying to clear out this wave while Shockey's underneath to try to get some extra damage onto them, and that they do, but a good ultimate there. Let Shockey escape without too much harm done.
Shockey knew exactly what Cyborg was wanting to do, knew that he was trying to clear out the wave to knock him under, knew he had to pop the Ragnarok, and got out pretty well scot-free. Blue utilizing the spell shield to block out a lot of the damage. Housebury is coming on down, only getting rooted is the Tarek, and he is going down. They save the kill for Blue. First kill over to the blue side of this game, and it is on the Sivir. Definitely some of your late game assurance that you want getting these kills.
Yeah, and looking at this mid lane now, you're just kind of waiting for the Nico to hit a root and maybe go in there. No, just going to do a little bit of poke damage. No reason to jump the gun. Like I've said before, they don't want to do that in any way, shape, or form. But they're going to be taking this bot tower with that Rift, it seems.
Rift Herald is popped bottom here, and they are looking to try to, again, accelerate the Sivir as fast as possible to getting to that static shift, most likely. Getting as much wave clear as they can. One or two autos away from killing this first tower. Caught in the middle, though. You do have Fire getting caught out again by that mid-jungle duo that's been so good so far today, and they continue to show their power and their pride, taking down Fire. And it looks like K-Man is looking to steal away another camp down here. We'll see if Cyborg can end up stopping him. Peter does not have Smite, so there's no guarantee that he'll be able to get this Krug. And Cyborg is able to help stave him off. However, K-Man is sitting around. He's waiting for his moment and seeing if Cyborg will recall. He was smart enough to realize Cyborg's going to recall, and that Smite is now back up. If Miller does not smite this, K-Man is just going to jump in and kill himself. Miller's smart enough to know Kindred might still be waiting around. I'm going to smite this on out and prevent Kindred from getting that free mark.
Yeah, no, I was really worried K-Man was about to go in there and try to contest it for the mark. Stayed back, though, which honestly, it could have been more of a 50-50 fight going into that. They didn't really have any vision to know that they were still hanging out close by. That was a really good call, knowing that they were going to use that recall there. And making it out unscathed, nothing too crazy again still happening here. However, OSU does have about 1,000 gold, a little bit less here now, ahead of UC. So are they going to be able to use that? They have it really just on this bot lane. The Sivir is the one that's going to be looking for picks pretty shortly here.
And K-Man trying to do a little bit of some solid Snake spec ops here. They've now done a lane swap, putting Fire in the top lane and Cyber in the bottom lane, utilizing the Tristana ultimate to press back. However, you do have a dive coming in here. You've got K-Man coming on in. He's going to end up popping the Kindred ultimate, the Lamb's Respite, just enough time, in the nick of time, to keep him alive. However, will he get on out? No, he will not. The teleport from Cyborg does net him the kill into K-Man. He took just a bridge too far. Nico, however, coming on in, catching out Miller, and Zeri's jumping on in, Flash coming on through. However, let us ride some walls, and Beyond ADC sends OSU Miller to the graveyard.
OSU now down 2-3 flashes even at this point. Tristana had to use theirs top. Knight trying to get away in time, hoping they wouldn't get hit, but wow, a big dive coming through top.
Yep, Shocky is taken on down low enough that Fire and Cyborg knew they could punish, and they're getting a lot of damage onto this tower. However, it may again cost OSU the Dragon here.
Now Pink, if they do, or QC, if they do get this, they're going to be already up 2 on those Dragons, so then you only need 1 to point, and then keep going from there. Meanwhile, OSU still need 4 afterwards, and going for this pick here, Beyond ADC has to run away.
Yeah, huge amount of damage, forcing the flash out of Beyond. And that's the power of that Sivir and Lulu. There's a lot of DPS that comes in there. Static Shiv and Berserker Greaves already completed. They're just putting a ton of pressure on the University of Cincinnati AD carry.
I mean, right now, if you're OSU, I mean, you're up that gold, but I think you're starting to get hungry for kills potentially here, as UC just kind of flying away when it comes to kills right now. I mean, OSU really is only down 1, but the way they've been getting kills is just few and far between. While it seems like UC is doing the outplaying when it gets to kills.
Yeah, UC is definitely doing some of the outplaying when they're getting kills, but OSU is still actually ahead in the gold lead. They put enough pressure on this map between towers, tower plates, and tower kills that despite being down 2 Dragons, they're still up nearly 2,000 gold on their opponents here, which definitely says something to the power that they've been able to put through with farming and with taking macro trades across the map when these other objectives are up.
Yeah, and they seem to be real big fans of the Rift Herald, and as they should. Shelly's just able to provide so much damage on towers, especially when they used it early in the game there. That's really what gave them this potential to have that gold lead. And now, of course, they're just continuing that. Once they use it again, could be able to take out another tower probably here. We're at the 16-minute mark. Ain't no plates on them anymore, but you can still get a good chunk of change for your troubles.
They're definitely not sitting on their lulls or anything. They're utilizing their composition to the fullest. The Tristana can press down these towers with a quick scoop in the Sivir, and when you add a good old Rift Herald on top of it, it makes it pretty tough. Cyborg juking on out, and Cosmic Radiant and Flash being utilized. We'll see if K-Man is able to get on out. He's being chunked pretty low. He does have the Lamb's Spite, keeping him alive, but how long will he stay alive? Forced to flash on out. Jerry's jumping on in. K-Man is taken on down, but at what cost? It costs Miller as well. So you trade jungle for jungle. Hamlet is looking to get away. Cyborg, however, takes down Hamlet. And you've got two for 1 on the side of Ohio State.
Ohio State really starting to pull through now, having almost 3,000 extra in the bank, but they could lose it out. Beyond ADC getting a little too aggressive. A TP coming through is going to force them real far back here. Cyborg taking over that mid lane right now. I mean, they're in a really good spot, it feels like. It's just the drags, like I've said before. They just don't prioritize them as much, but they always seem to find a way to get back to them in the end.
Yep, and right now we are looking for a bit of redemption from the side of Ohio State. They're not happy with what happened last game. They're not happy they could not come back. And right now they are remaining in good control in a low kill game against University of Cincinnati. And they are definitely looking to try to make up for last time. I think their macro's been pretty good. However, let's not sleep on University of Cincinnati either. They've done a great job with being able to trade out some summer spells to get a little bit of some advantages on their side as well. And by no means it's anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now there is one thing from last game that's showing up again, and it's the Zeri being fed 3-0-1 currently. Might be the key to winning UC these next couple of fights here, as long as they're able to team play it well. And I mean, the farm coming through as well. They're going to have so many items at their disposal. They have this Shiv right now. They have the BF sword, so plenty of damage to go through. They're looking to gank Fire here. Of course, they have that escape. The back is coming through, so I'll slow down my assumption on that one. Getting vision ready for Dragon, though. Only about 45 seconds remaining on that. Could put UC to Dragon Point. Could send OSU to a little bit of a scare.
Yeah, with their with it being Cloud Soul. Well,
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
really with this team.
Miller right now, it looks like, okay, so OSU was able to secure that space, but now the Kindred came in having to run away there as they peek around that corner and see so many people from the side of OSU. They're like, yeah, I can't take this fight right now. This is downright straight up losing. It would have been inting if they went in there. So very smart by them to just slow the roll, come back here. Now the team fight looks like it's about to happen.
The team fight looks like it's going to happen. It looks like good classic 5v5. Fire's getting caught out though. Fire's almost completely caught out. Forced to jump on out. Forced to just die in the pit. Did not have flash available to him. And it looks like we might have a big old fight here. Shelly's gonna drop cover. Here comes the top Watson. There comes Zeri. There goes Maokai. And there goes Ohio State. UC putting their foot down, giving over the ace to the side of University of Cincinnati and putting themselves on sole point here in this second game.
Yeah, I'm surprised they weren't going to fight for that Baron a little bit faster there. They want to go try to take care of that Rift Herald in their bot lane, take over a tower or two here mid. You see now sitting very, very pretty, still somehow down gold though, which is pretty insane to think about that. You know, it's just all those towers that OSU has that's putting them so far ahead, and now they got to find their way back through, take a tower or two if they can, and actually find themselves at a gold advantage.
Yeah, tough spot for OSU to be in. I mean, that's a big thing of like, that's a big misplay from Fire. He was out of position, pants down the left side of the map, and is looking to try to redeem himself here though, forcing the flash out of K-Man. Cyborg is looking to try to redeem himself. However, the ghost is popped by Zeri, getting himself enough distance to be able to get away from the explosive cast. Where he comes, the rest of Ohio State and beyond ADC will not be able to do much beyond the grave. This OSU is going to go for Bear.
That was the pick they needed there to get that Zeri out of the way. Now they can fight for this Baron here. They don't have to worry about that large damage threat when it comes to the Zeri to shred through their team. You see kind of debating whether or not they should go in, just kind of hanging around the area right now.
On the pink ward. Jump, he's going to go on in. Is it going to be enough? No. Miller successfully smites the Baron. Hot Blossom coming on in. K-Man goes down. Hamlet goes down as well. Ohio State making the comeback. Jump on in. We've got the bounce house, and Tarek was invited. And he goes into the fountain here. Ohio State swinging in now, having 5K of their name, 11-10, all wearing purple. Derry's not done. Wants to come in, get the kill, get the shutdown onto blue, and is not done. Is got a double kill. Potentially going for the triple, not able to take it though. The Maokai damage was enough, thanks to that burn from Demonic.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably a smart play there by that Zeri. You know, you've already lost your shutdown. You might as well try to get the Baron buff off of some of these players, and that they were able to, almost picking up the 3K there, even thanks to that static shiv, being able to proc on so many different players at the same time to just at least do a little bit of chip damage. Going forward, though, I mean, your next Dragon's up in less than 2 minutes. OSU has to be ready for that. They have that nice advantage now by about a 5K gold lead. It's just going to be about showing off that 5K gold lead. Are they actually going to be able to secure this space here? I mean, we see it both from the Tristana and the Sivir. They have 2 strong items to themselves, as well as a third, the Phantom Dancer, also on this Sivir. So matching with the Zeri at this point, I feel like OSU should have the advantage. However, they have so much defensive utility on the side of UC, it could just be enough.
Yep, huge amount of damage there though. K-Man trying to go in for the kill on Tristana. Here comes the hunt. There goes Zeri, not able to ride the wall, got stunned up too early, and Ohio State is pressuring in here, definitely making UC work for it and looking to try to force the game free. Their Baron buff will still be alive all the way up until Dragon.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, they're riding high.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
To the dying soul.
Everyone backing now. It seems like now's the time. They've gotten all they need to, getting themselves ready for it. This fight is going to be massive. If UC loses this just even a little bit too hard, that could give OSU the opportunity to take that game, or take this game, or at least take a tower off of them again at their own nexus there. UC has to be smart about how they play this one. There's plenty of vision going on in this jungle for them, however, so if they spot out this Gragas well enough, they might be able to get a pick a little early on.
You're the thinking you're perhaps get caught out. There's not a front line. You don't have a mount to be able to wait on the Terran heals ultimate to keep you alive. It's like they're gonna go with the dragon, allow Ohio State to take it, and just try to pressure in the mid lane, try to get a
hanging out now, taking over this jungle, moving up. They didn't want to fight on drag. Smart call by them. UC knows the fight they can and cannot win here. Traveling as a unit, actually. Maybe they're trying to get to this
top wave. Just challenging them, saying, we are going to run it down mid. You guys don't want to defend your mid tower, your mid lane. We are going to go ahead. We're just going to run it mid. We're going to run it bot. We're going to own this side of the map here, and forcing UC to not be able to put pressure on lane wave, which is still also going to push towards the University side, so they are still on a timer against Ohio State.
And it's probably going to be a timer before a massive fight breaks out here as they're struggling.
Top Blossom Flash lands on one. Here comes the hunt. There goes Zeri. The lens of spite was booted out, but comes right back on in. Heracles possibly gets none. However, Blue is caught. Blue is down. He trades it for Beyond. 1 for 1. 80 carry for 80 carry. You've got fire coming in from the right side. He's going to try to blow up Shocky. Is it enough? No. The Terran shields keep him just alive.
Scary fight they're going through. Almost losing out on Shocky at the end as well. You see, I mean, they just need to make one mistake somehow, even though they must feel like they're even in this matchup. They're down so many towers. They have the dragons, but really that's it at this point. I mean, Ohio State has done it again and again, where it's like, we don't care about those first two dragons. Those are just, they're simply ornaments. They're simply just pictures on a wall. It doesn't matter until you get the soul. That's what they play for, and it's working out super well for them right now.
You are playing the gamble. If we're going to let a team get to soul point, they then know we have to fight every single dragon. Are we willing to take that gamble? Ohio State took that gamble, and it came up Scarlet. If they are happy that it landed on that side for them, because now they're in a position to win it, but they're not yet. It's only a 30 minutes game. Baron is coming online soon. Dragon is coming online in 2.5. There's still a lot of opportunity for misplays, and there's a lot of opportunities for
100% agreed, as they just try to push up these waves here so they don't have to worry about what happened last time where they couldn't actually push up that top wave. They had to go back and protect their Nexus towers, but a big engage coming through.
Yep. Fire, pop them on out. Valkyrie is coming on in. Eric is blown up a copy range for him. Jockey is trying to get on out. He's gonna keep himself alive as long as possible. Taken down by the combination of Blue and Fire. The Ohio State is not done yet. They are looking to push this to get a third inhibitor tower and a second inhibitor. They might go for the end right here.
As they should. They have this advantage right now. They're pushing in these waves. They have two massive waves coming up right now. This is OSU's game right now to take. But everyone's coming up off of their respawns. You still have 15 seconds roughly for Shocky. And of course you have the Terrace back up. So it seems like they are going to back off here and not contest the Baron, but spend that gold, get stronger for the next fight, and maybe that's just where you go.
They're gonna
Red team's
reset.
inhibitors respawning soon.
Look with double supers coming on down. Those all 3 inhibs going down. Double supers because now that inhibitor, little bit of side of UC. We're gonna see if they can make Ohio State's beat.
It looks like OSU is going to start this Baron up right now. UC nowhere near to try to contest this. I'm sure they're getting that hint, though. They have the vision around tier 5.
Baron, no contest whatsoever. You got gonna have item Sivir rocking 90% crit chance. There's no way getting that. However, Cyborg might be getting caught out. Completely whips the Gragas ultimate. Because the upgrade is keeping Derek alive, just barely. Pop Blossom catches 2, but is not enough. Hamlet gets blown on up by Cyborg. However, Zeri is shutting down fire. You do have Beyond, and Shockey's still alive. Plus K-Man, they did 1. Cyborg still trying to fight, going on to Shockey. Shockey's still fighting on back. Shockey's just trying to compliment at this point. Anything's going on. Damon's going in, pops the lamb this fight. Wants to keep himself alive as long as possible. However, he goes on down. Ohio State brings it back. They end up taking down University of Cincinnati and brings us to a game 3, an ultimate game 3. 1-1. Ohio State takes down University of Cincinnati. We're going to game 3 later. We're going to game 3, everybody. We are making this an absolute certified banger. So grab your snacks, grab your beverages, get yourself ready to go because we are going to game 3 in the grand final.
Yeah, it's going to be a really, really fun game to see. The first match felt fairly even up at the end there, with UC kind of taking the advantage. And then I feel like that second game, OSU just kept slowly pushing their lead more and more until finally hit a break point, and they just completely peaked. The stocks that game were crazy. The amount of gold they were able to start building up there, the investments they put in getting that Rift Herald both times was amazing for them.
Absolutely. They did a great job of being able to, from that, playing aggressive, playing their style of game, and it has rewarded them. 3-tie game. Whoever wins the next one, they take home that title. On the other side of this break, we will be back for the final game arena autumn tournament. Cincinnati Pink versus Ohio State University Scarlet. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone, to the third and final game of this Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open Grand Finals of University of Cincinnati Pink versus Ohio State University Scarlet. I'm Basket Ives, joined by Mito, and we are jumping right into this third and final ban phase we have today.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited to see what's going to be coming through here. It looks like OSU is going to be banning Orianna, Sedge, and Aatrox, keeping it cool and concise and normal. Meanwhile, UC has already made their bans through. They don't want to see that Sivir again, nor that Jace, or the Tristana. They're done with it. That last match, they don't want that to happen anymore. They're going to be first picking the Xayah here. So, OSU, no one's banned the Rakan. Do you want to pick it to deny that? Will University of Cincinnati pick it up if it does stay on the table? It didn't seem like that's what happened last time, but maybe they changed the way.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to go for the Ezreal instead. And this is also the first time that we've seen them do the side swap. So Ohio State is now on the red side for the first time in this best of 3. So University of Cincinnati clearly wanting to be able to have that power of a first pick, using it towards their Xayah for Beyond. And the Ezreal Rakan is the pickup here for OSU Scarlet, denying that Lovers Duo, but that's all right. Probably for UC Pink. They're probably looking at something else anyway.
Yeah, and I'm going to be interested to see what kind of jungler they actually pick over on the side of UC, just because it seems like they picked AD both times because they're starting their red and then moving down. Maybe now that they're going to be on that blue side, if they do start top again, maybe they're going to be leaning more towards an AP style jungler. Just a little guess though, nothing that really seems to have too much fruition, but maybe that's kind of the route they decide to take this, as well as the Karma support makes its way in here. So if that Rakan goes in, you better be ready to get out as well, unless they want to get snared by that Karma.
Actually, the poke as well from the Karma support should be good. We'll see if they pick again on blue side 3, if they pick their jungle, or if they end up going for one of their soul laners. I can see them definitely going for something like that. Talia, which is likely going to K-Man and is likely going into the jungle. However, there's a world where they use that on Hamlet in the mid lane, but a very strong pick within the meta. And Ohio State falling once again back on that Maokai. They've enjoyed it for most of the games, and he is one of the premier junglers that we do have here in the current meta.
Yeah, and now that they've baited their way through here, they've gotten what they wanted. They're allowed to ban again. They still have the top lane ban that could come through here, or maybe they do focus on that middle, knowing Talia's most likely going to be in the jungle here. It looks like they're going to actually ban Vi. Okay, we haven't really seen that Vi come through here. We talked about it a little while we were just kind of hanging out before it started. Are we going to see the Gwen ban come through here from OSU, or do they let that go through and almost like bait it out, maybe, if they have a plan for it against UC?
Yeah, they might, and looks like they are maybe eyeing a Zoe ban. They're going to ban out the Zoe. They don't want to see it. I guess they fear it. And yep, the Gwen respect ban coming through. They do not want to end up having UC on that again. They did not enjoy it the first time. They're not seeing it again in this game 3.
Yeah, to no surprise there. I am a little curious of what UC are going to ban here. The mid and tops from OSU really have been more so just counter picks. It looks like they're actually going to be banning this Akshan here. So maybe they're going to be going with or going with a melee champ in the mid lane for UC. A Scion top. It just comes out right away from OSU.
Oh yeah, strong beefy boy Scion coming through, kind of the epitome of I can play weak side and eventually I will outscale. So you'll see what they try to do with that, saving their mid lane for last pick as counter pick.
Smart call. That's what they did before. Looks like it's what they're going to be doing again here. Or yeah, as you see now, picks the Camille, takes their time, probably trying to decide what they want to do mid here. You have good AD and AP coming through. You don't really necessarily have a very strong, large, beefy tank like they do on the side of OSU. They have the Maokai already, who's a little bit tanky, the Rakan, who can be a little bit tanky, but then the Scion is super tanky, especially going to that late game. But no, they decide to pick up the Jarvan, so it does look like that Talia is probably going to be our mid laner.
Yeah, it looks like they have decided to do the Talia mid lane, so good on OSU then for banning out the Vi still. But definitely a very strong team fight that we do have coming in from the side of UC Pink. The Azir being the potential final pick. That would actually be a really great pick to help displace the Camille and Jarvan, who want to jump in on Ohio State. And it looks like that will be the pick, because a Camille in the side lanes is quite strong and can get out of hand very, very quickly.
Yeah, but I think OSU, like you said, are just now prepared for that. Looking at this matchup here, just from pure draft alone, I'm already feeling more so that this match is going to be in the favor of OSU. I mean, they just have more sustain. It looks like UC Pink is probably going to be looking for those big bursty fights, try to get a pick or two right away here. But that's going to be tough. I mean, you have that Ezreal has the escape, the Azir can get out of the way real fast. And then you have 3 tanks that are also in your way. So I don't know. This is going to be really tough for UC to try and find those small little picks here and there to actually give them somewhat of an edge going throughout the game.
Yeah, it should be interesting, but my concern for the side of Ohio State is actually a bit of their damage. I mean, they're really only 2 damage dealers they do have in terms of DPS are your Ezreal and your Azir. And so it's just, will you be able to cut through some of the burst damage you'll get out of Talia, Camille, and Xayah? Because if you can't cut through them if you can't burst them down very quickly, they will be able to burst you down. Now, obviously, you've got 2 giant meat walls of Maokai and Scion, but you've got a lot of kite ability from the side of UC with Talia, Karma, and Zaya. So it's going to be very interesting to see just how these two decide to play out this matchup. And this is a tough one. This is a coin toss for me as to who's going to take away the crown in this game.
Yeah, and I feel like now for the side of UC, you probably want to start your Jarvan bot to path top, because I feel like if you're trying to go bot lane, it's going to be super hard for you to actually see some kind of value there. With the Scion, he doesn't have that mobility. Yes, he might be able to try and get another pick after his passive goes off there when he's just swinging his hands at you rather. I mean, if they want to get some kind of lead building up, I feel like that's where they should be focused towards.
Yeah, and it's gonna be very interesting. You have fairly high mobility from both teams for a couple of their champions. I think UC Pink can get around the map a lot faster, a lot better than OSU. And this is at least going to be a fun third game. We are getting
absolutely
a tightly knit game for game 3. I'm not looking forward to just like the Scion late game, because like I hate seeing Scion in games, because it's just like giant meat wall with 5,000 HP that destroys your towers. Like, you know, not too excited about that one, but you know, we deal with it. We go from there. And I'm really curious to see who ends up coming through in these skill matchups between especially mid laners and top laners.
Yeah, I mean, this game is going to be absolutely insane. Like I said, I still feel like OSU might have a bit of an edge, but you got a great point. I mean, their damage dealers are just these 2 squishies, and then after that, it's really just, okay, do we just use the rest of our health to run away if they go down? Like, there's not much they can do in that fact.
So, should be interesting. Also, just the way that they decide to play, I think the first 15 minutes here is going to be very, very telling. But we've been through a long set of games. You know, the players that have been here, they came in around, I believe it was 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's now just about 10 p.m. Eastern time here. So they have been in for a very long time. They have been grinding. They each had 4 games in the group stage, plus they both 2-0 their semis. So they are on now their 8th game of the day. It is 9th game actually of the day, and it is just absolute onslaught here. And it's also going to be a matter of how well these people can keep their mental now that they're at the final hour, the final game, the final spawn onto Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, only time will tell as they collect themselves and get ready to go into this game 3. We're going to hop to a short little break, and when we come back, we'll be giving you this final match of the night, OSU versus UC. Don't go anywhere, it'll be happening fast.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Final game, final series, grand finals of this Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open between UC Pink and OSU Scarlet. We are on the Rift for the final time tonight, coming at you in the hours of the evening. The bars are open, the drinks are flowing, and the blood will be as well here on Summoner's Rift. For the last time here, I am Basket of Knives. Joining me also is Mito, and we are here to bring you this final game.
Yeah, and what a game it will surely be. The first 2, both great games to watch. Didn't really sound like it was too one-sided for the most part, majority of the time, until the end, of course. So I'm expecting this game to go the exact same way here, as it looks like this Jarvan is going to be starting on this bot side and probably pathing towards top to get an early pick.
Yeah, we're actually for the first time in this series having junglers start on opposite sides of the map. So we'll see if they end up doing paths towards opposite sides, or if someone's going to do a quick clear into a gank. Jarvan is famous for doing level 2 ganks, doing just red buff into level 2 gank mid. And that's definitely an option into the immobility of your level 1. So we'll kind of see where everyone wants to posture for this early game, but definitely these junglers want to be active and get their laners ahead.
Yeah, and right now it looks like they won't actually be able to probably do that onto the Azir. So Leah's pushed this lane in pretty far here. Azir's going to be playing back towards the tower. So Jarvan's just going to take these Krugs, go up to the Raptors, and then maybe from there they have the opportunity to keep going forward and try for a gank. But for the time being, it looks like the actual gank that might come through here, Miller pathed up after taking their Raptors. So Camille may be in a bit of danger here.
Yeah, might be in a bit of danger, but I kind of doubt it. I don't think the Maokai's going to get that early. The gank off is likely just trying to clear out his red side and path on down. Similar to K-Man, just clearing his blue side now and pathing on up. No ganks done. We have ships passing in the night and just junglers power farming to their next breakpoints.
And it's Jarvan now. Still just hanging out, everybody having a little grand old time, trying to push these waves on the tower, especially Shocky here against Cyborg, knowing that Sion isn't going to have the easiest wave clear without at least getting picked down here. Try to get some damage onto them. Pushed under tower. These other wave states, though, hanging out at mid and bot seem to be fairly even for the time being. Big push coming through from OSU at the bottom, actually, as that wave builds up.
We've got a big wave building up here. Really being able to have the opportunity to crash this on in. Again, Ezreal's fine to back on a fairly low econ recall because he'll be able to just get his Tear of the Gods. Well, actually, he already has his Tear of the Gods, so he doesn't need to do that recall. But as soon as he can start getting some more damage into his kit, he'll be a lot more potent here. It looks like OSU is definitely playing stronger on this bottom and middle side while sacrificing a little bit to Cyborg, who, as a Scion, you're fine with that. You'll eventually outscale. You'll eventually be the unkillable dead demon. And so I think right now, if you're Ohio State, you're fine with this.
Yeah, and right now the only thing we really have to worry about here is this Azir pushed up fairly far in the mid lane. It looks like junglers are both looking at that. Of course, either waiting for a gank on themselves or a counter gank here. Seems like nothing's happened quite yet. Miller just deciding to back off here. You know, if no one's going to go in, no need to worry about it. Get a little bit of items on yourself and head back on into the jungle. Continue your farm, just get stronger from there.
Yeah, and Knight was caught out on vision going up the river, which caused everyone to want to back off from the potential mid play. And now we have K-Man potentially looking for something topside, but nope, he will just recall instead. Thinks there's nothing worthy of his time to gank. He's just gonna get some items back on his plate and get himself going. Beyond is pushing them back in to see if we can get a little bit more of an even lane state here. But first a recall and also first set of counter gank here. You have Miller jumping in for a bit of some counter ganking. And K-Man actually stuck around and decided to also counter gank and take away the Krugs.
So now just trading those camps back and forth there. Really, I mean, again, just like the first two games, it seems like the only real aggression being made is just pushing a wave up. Whether it's Shocky pushing this wave up top or Blue and Knight pushing the wave on bot, there really isn't that much real fighting going on right now. It's more so just try to build up as much gold as you can and take it away from your opponent right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of where these teams are at. I think that even more so than the previous games, it's the ticking time bomb. Everyone is trying to just build up as much pressure as possible before being able to release it in all one and decisive blow. I expect these team fights to be, when they do occur, to be very explosive, but these are going to be few and far between, as nobody wants to be the one who causes their team to fail.
100%. And right now it looks like Shocky might get stuck on the bad side of Cyborg, but no, it looks like it's just trading back and forth, not really either of them confessing themselves to this.
Just a little bit of two meat walls just trying to hit each other back and forth, not really too much happening. Ooh, a swing and a miss from Hamlet with the rocks. No seismic shove there. We've got Karma trying to hold the wave before Beyond comes back. Successfully does so as well. Blue is low on mana and wanting to get a recall in. First recall of the game. Miller is taking Dragon on his own. This is a little bit risky. I don't think UC knows what's going on, but they might still try to look for it. Knight's trying to distract them long enough to dissuade them from looking at Dragon, and I believe he will be successful. Pings are finally going down on the Dragon, but it might be too late. However, Talia is coming on in with the Weaver's Wall, looking to try to stop. Miller immediately uses the Twist Advance and then flashes out instantly. Flash also coming in there for the side of Hamlet, looking to try to take him down, and does indeed. First blood. Rock. Remember, everyone, rock is not always worse than paper. Sometimes rock does beat paper. Remember, trees are made of paper.
Yeah, and you know, thankfully they've already banned the scissors out of this game, so they don't have anything to worry about when it comes to that. Going forward, though, it looks like since Talia got that first kill, this mid lane is probably going to be a little bit harder for the Sazir to hold on to. Really good poke with that character. Other lanes right now still just kind of finding themselves at an even 50-50, just a back and forth, trying to find a bit of an opening in their defenses. But as I say that, Shocky goes in, trying to run from the Scion.
Yeah, Shocky forced to flash out to dissuade the Scion from going further and preventing Cyborg from landing the unstoppable onslaught. And again, we're back to a little bit of an even state, but UC coming out to a quick 1k gold lead here, just off that first blood and a little bit of farm pressure.
Yeah, and right now it looks like they're going to be taking the Rift. Again, OSU, they love the Rift Herald, and as they should. That's how they've been able to either maintain an equal amount of gold or be a little bit up on their opponent every single time, because they're not really focusing these drags too hard. They're more so like, okay, there's the Rift. We know if we get this early, that's a lot of gold that I could give to any laner. And right now it looks like he probably wants to give it to mid, knowing that they're behind.
Immediately going on in, Hamlet is caught on out, gets the Azir shove. The Emperor Divide does pick him on in, but he hasn't picked him off yet. However, there's no way he gets on out. They send 3, they get 1. Hamlet sent to the grave, and Fire gets the first kill for the side of OSU, and it looks like they may not be done. They're trying to look for a pick here onto Xayah and Karma, but that's going to be pretty tough to get in on those two. Ghost is popped, though, from Beyond, so that Summer Spell got to be taken for free.
And it looks like they might be going for an engage here, as some nice damage comes through, and Blue gets taken out, and Knight might be following up, but no, a good flash to save themselves.
Never underestimate the power of that Karma speed up. Blue is punished by the quick work of Beyond, and that's going to give just a very strong lead, forced to give up that wave, and just going to be able to come back with a really strong buy on the side of UC Pink.
Yeah, and right now it looks like they have a little bit of a gold advantage going through, so they might be able to take this towards top lane. Here the Jarvan gets spotted out. Cyborg doesn't have that ult to escape quite yet, is now just getting absolutely hammered.
So doesn't have the ult yet. He's holding on as long as possible, looking to flash out. Does flash. The J4 ult does dodge that cataclysm. However, Hamlet's not done, but the unstoppable onslaught perfectly buffers the seismic shove and gets him on out.
Wow, that was really impressive there by Cyborg. Able to perfectly use that flash, and then the timing on the ult was great as well. Couldn't get knocked away there, makes it out alive somehow. Well played by them, but that's the flash out, that's the ult out. So now Shocky knows they don't have the TP up right now. They can just continue to push this and try to take some plating for themselves. As now bot lane, they have to run back.
Yep, forcing out the ult from Xayah, however, immediately coming back on in with the quickness and the True Shot Barrage. However, it does not land true. It just lands Blue and Knight to their deaths. Big damage coming out, and we now see this first pick Xayah from the side of Beyond really paying dividends for UC.
Yeah, and that's such a hard engage to go for there, because Ezreal versus that Xayah early, I mean, if you're equal in items, I feel like Xayah still has that edge, because those Qs just aren't going to be doing as much damage. Meanwhile, Xayah can just continue on again and again with those auto attacks, and then roll that into a stun as well. So a little bit of a poor engagement there, I feel like, for OSU. They probably wanted to just actually take that and leave. Right now, it looks like they're just trying to find some kind of way to get back into it, as the gold lead now favoring UC by 1,000 right now.
Yep, and here comes the Cyber Shove in for Hamlet. Hamlet is going to not, he is going to be taken down. However, it's going to come at the cost. Fire stuck in the rage cage with K-Man, and when you're in the K-Man's cage, you ain't getting out alive.
Yeah, he's got you for 3 minutes, 3 minutes of playtime. It doesn't last that long, but you get the idea here as Cyborg now trying to clear this way before it goes under tower again. They don't want to miss out on too much BS, and they've actually been doing a really good job despite getting stuck under tower by Shocky this entire game, actually being up 2 right now.
Yeah, playing really, really well, utilizing his weak side to as much advantage as he can. Looks like we do have the Rift Tail being spawned towards bottom lane. It should, or no, it's. I'm not even sure if it's going to necessarily get a charge. They're going to look to try to kill out blue, but no, they're going to end up popping the eye. Note they don't even get the eye. Pop the ghost out of the side of Beyond, as well as the Maokai Nature's Grasp, but they do end up getting away. They do get the Rift Charge off. 2 plates go down, but not too much from there.
Yeah, right now it's just going to be about fighting around this dragon. They're getting this vision set up or taken away at least here by Knight. Seems like they're in a fairly good position to do so. Got to be a little bit worried right now. The Shirelia's from the Karma, the speed up on top of that as well. It's just going to be the fastest engage disengage you may ever see right now, as blue by themselves may just get caught out, but a good escape there by them as OSU starts this dragon.
Yep, OSU trying to play the dragon game. However, K-Man is coming on and he is not satisfied, saying, no, get the hell off my dragons. We've got a teleport coming in from Camille. Fire's also caught on out. Miller is taken in, and he does manage to get taken down. However, it costs Beyond his life. The Shurima Shuffle does take him on down, trading 1 for 1. However, Dragon is still on the board. Cyborg being taken pretty low. Fire is low as well. Don't know how long they want to take around. However, Hamlet is low on mana. Not sure how long he can last. Flash Force on out, and UC forced off the dragon. Shocky's still alive. Is he gonna get on out? Shocky still managed to take the dragon and the life of blue and the life of Cyborg. Shocky is putting the team on his back to be able to take UC to the win here. Now accelerating that lead up to a 2K lead. 2 dragons up and 2 kills from that fight to her name.
Yeah, that was really well played there. Shocky playing it slow, knew that they couldn't be the first ones to hit that dragon to try to take it, and they were able to do that. They got the pick onto Fire there. So Azir already out of the fight, and you know everybody else is low. At that point, we're just playing cleanup crew. The janitor's in, clocked up, and they just mopped right there. Able to steal the dragon, 2 kills. Amazing job there.
Yep, absolute great work from the side of UC to really put themselves in just a strong winning position now. They are ahead early and their comp scales really, really well. And so now we will see what they're able to do, because if you're OSU, you can't fall too much further behind with this team, because they want to run you over and they want to accelerate the game pace. And it looks like they're going to end up giving up this Rift Herald, and we'll see what they can do against it, because right now it is looking pretty dire for the side of Ohio State.
Yeah, and losing on that Rift, that's something they love. And UC, of course, said, you know, Mom, that it's my turn with the Rift Herald, takes it for themselves, and they're going to try to find a way to use it there, as, you know, the Ezreal just trying to clear this lane as fast as possible. They don't want this to be going down mid for sure here, and it seems like all the turrets are still fairly healthy in this game, despite us being 16 minutes in. Normally I feel like we've seen one taken down by now, but of course that Rift before wasn't quite able to do anything here, as Hamlet has to fight for their life.
Hamlet is likely getting locked on down. The Weaver's Wall does nothing. However, the Shurima Wall definitely does something. Ends up taking down Hamlet. Hopefully getting a tower here for Ohio State. However, UC is saying, you know what? Go ahead, take our top tower. We're going to take mid lane and then some. That's going to charge in, easily get the mid tower, and they're going to look for a second charge, hopefully guiding in this Rift Herald for another shot onto the inner tower.
And they just get that for free. There's no way they were going to be able to stop that before it hits in time, unless they wanted to put themselves in a very awkward situation potentially that UC would, of course, punish for. I'm sure of it. OSU now stuck a little behind. That gold lead, not too much though. As wow, a big fight happening
going on in. Cyborg is immediately just melted. However, Shocky might have bit off more than he can chew. The undead Cyborg is looking for more, but Shocky gets away. 120 HP. The True Shot Barrage will miss. And Beyond also takes down Fire. OSU is trying to grasp for straws, and right now the Operation Desperation is not working for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more they can do right now. There's no objectives really up. They're not doing so hot when it comes to lanes right now, as really the only advantage they have is in that top lane. But of course, who are you going to send up there right now? You'd want to send Cyborg, but they go down. You decide to send them back towards bot lane. It's just tough for OSU. They have to find a way around this. They need a big team fight win, and the only way you're probably going to find yourselves in a good team fight is going to be drag. I mean, it's up in a little over a minute. So that's where a big fight is going to happen if they want to find themselves back into this game. Only being down about 2K isn't crazy bad for them, but it surely isn't where they'd like to be.
Yeah, definitely not the end of the world. They can definitely find their way back into it, but with every grand of gold that goes up, it makes it that much harder for OSU to come back into this game. And right now, there's no answer for Shocky. Shocky's 4-0-1, almost on 2 items. And I don't believe there's anyone that can match her in the side lane. They need to send 2, if not 3 people to potentially kill her. And that means UC can run the rest of the map with absolute ease.
No worries, no sweat on their foreheads. Going into this next fight here, they have vision down there, spotting each other out right now. This Jarvan actually might be a little out of position here. OSU trying to take advantage of that. They don't have a way to speed themselves up going forward though. So just kind of poking them down, saying, hey, we know you're here. We know what you want to do. We're ready for you. So maybe giving UC a little bit of food for thought when they want to take this fight.
Yep, and with the 3rd dragon coming on up, we'll see who wants to fight for it. OSU's already got all 5 members down here. Hamlet's teleporting in, ready to go for this. Wards are placed on down. OSU is the inside track, though. Does get a big knock up onto K-Man, drunking him all the way to half. Nature Trap comes on out, and then it's Ohio State's Dragon. True Shuffle misses, though, onto Shocky, who went in for the flank. And OSU does manage to get that Dragon, but they do manage to get themselves back into a bit better position for this game.
Yeah, but they use so many ults, so they're actually in a terrible
going on in the Hextech ultimatum. Knocks down 2, and he knocks down 3. Shocky is 5-0-4. Shocky is shocking the systems of the Scarlets here, and they are taking them on down, taking that mid inner tower, and I'm guessing they are running straight over to the Baron.
And I mean, as they should. You have 4 members down on the side of OSU. This Baron is the freest thing they've gotten this whole series. There's simply nothing OSU could do to stop that from happening. They use so many ults just to secure that one drag. I'm sure they wanted to get that pick on Shocky so bad. He's got that big bounty on his head. So having that would have been nice, and then they wouldn't have had to worry about that Baron possibly being taken. But when you trade so many ults for one dragon, sometimes you just have to leave and be happy with what you got, and then worry about the rest of the fight later on. OSU unfortunately just gets caught out by that. So many ults going out from UC there to win that fight, take them down, and get the Baron. OSU is in a scary spot as these waves are being pushed up top, and the gold lead is going fast into the way of UC.
Yeah, it is certainly dire straits for Ohio State, but we will see if they can mount the comeback here. And for UC, can they close this out? In game 1, UC did pull away with the win, but they did struggle in the mid and late game to be able to close out the game. Will they have those same struggles here, or will they be able to make that comeback? Looks like there's a lot of pings coming in onto K-Man. They're trying to see if they can catch him on out. However, the Super Blast plants will likely be able to get him on out if he so chooses. He's not too worried, though, wanting to cover for Shocky to make sure that there is no harm that comes to that 700 gold shutdown. on the side of UC.
Yeah, but UC is just controlling these jungles so hard. There's no way that OSU can get good vision inside of here to know exactly what's going on and where they are. If they would go into that jungle to try to get anything, it's going to be a
big spike coming in here. Fire does land. The Emperor's Divide nearly killing Shocky and K-Man. However, they managed to both utilize their flashes to get on out. We still have Cyborg wanting to pick a fight. Nature's Grasp coming on in. It catches out too. Karma is caught. Karma is down. Beyond is still managing to get away, but Beyond is taken by the very edge of the Sand Soldiers here. Ohio State is not done yet. They're still looking for a little bit more. They managed to almost get away, but the flag and drag is enough for K-Man to get on out. But a good rebuttal from the side of Ohio State, showing their grit, showing that they can still compete even from behind.
Yeah, we saw before, down but not out in that first game, that they just weren't quite able to win in the end there. You know, they're finding themselves in this similar spot. Will they be able to actually clutch it up, though, in the end? Tough to tell, as Shocky is just doing so good this game. I mean, I hate to keep riding the Shocky train, but honestly, he deserves it. He's the whole station right now.
Oh, I believe there's a lot of people that are buying tickets to get aboard the Shocky hype train. I believe there's a line out the door outside of the game arena just going, hey, we want to be on the Shocky train. So I don't blame anyone who's on that train. Right now, I'm on that train. Also, Camille is scary. I am an AD carry main. I do not like playing versus a fed Camille. It is not a good time. I am having some PTSD watching this game, being like, ooh, I remember the last time there was a fed Camille in my game. Not fun. We'll see. We'll see what they can do. But yeah, right now it's just really tough. Hextech Ultimatum coming on in. However, immediately the Unstoppable Onslaught comes on through. Big chunk of damage. Shooter Shuffle does get Shocky, and Shocky goes down. 1,000 gold going over to Fire. We just cast a Kirsten, didn't we?
We did, and it happens. You know,
yeah.
This isn't my first caster curse. It most surely won't be my last either, I hope. Well, I shouldn't say I hope, but that was in terms of me being like, yeah, I'll still be casting more than this.
Yeah, but immediately, Blue having to flash out. K-Man's looking for a flank. However, he's getting caught now. Does use the Cataclysm, but only finds his own death inside the cage. 1v4. The J-Man is not enough here.
OSU, are they finding their way back in? They're up players right now. They don't have a jungler on the side of UC. This could be another drag for them to make them tied up when it comes to drags. They're still down 5k gold.
Teleports coming on in from the side of Shocky. The Weaver's Wall has boxed everyone in. Cyborg does go down. We'll see if they can fight everyone out. The Scion Zombie is coming on in. Shocky is locked down. Shocky is gold. Miller is also going gold, flashing on out. And they end up posturing. Still no one has died besides Cyborg. And yeah, it's tied up Dragons 2-2. And that gold lead is slowly evaporating. It's down to only 5k now.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly how OSU want to really go about this. You know, it seems like they're starting to have a lot stronger fights, and it looks like Fire is still fired up, trying to find another pick onto Shocky, or at least scare them away.
Yeah, it should be a pretty... it's going to be a tough game. It's, you know, both these teams are showing their power, showing their grit, but also showing a little bit of inconsistency. It's making it very difficult for teams to kind of know what they want to do in the mid game. There seems to be a little bit of some absence in setup, in warding, there's some positional errors. So, you know, none of these teams are infallible, and that's kind of where a little bit of it's an endurance game now. These teams have been playing for close to 12 hours, and how well can they play on the 12th hour when the clock strikes midnight? Shocky's down, Shocky's going in, the Hextech Ultimate is pushed on in, trying to block out Cyborg from being able to utilize the ultimate, and does successfully stop the Unstoppable Onslaught and gets him out. However, you've got two people in the bottom side of the map trying to move on up. You've got the blue team. You've got UC. They went for the Baron 3v none, and they walked away. They are robbing Ohio State right now. They are absolutely taking them to the cleaners with some great macro play here.
Yeah, and they just keep continuing this push. Like you said, they're running to the cleaners with it. They have so much now in their bank. It's just coming down to, okay, are you able to use that Shurima shuffle to get Shocky out of the way? I feel like if you're able to get that pick on Shocky right now, that's what's going to really open it up to you to go into this fight. However, they do have that great disengage right now with that Karma, with that Shurima's battle song to get them out of that fight in case something like that does happen. So even if they are able to do that, will they be able to follow up on it?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. They do manage to get that mid-outer tower for their troubles. Again, that's been a sticking point for them all series long, has been trying to get those mid-outers. They do finally get that, and yeah, it's still just batten down the hatches. Hold out as long as you can. Baron will be on for just about until Dragon spawns. So we'll see who manages to get themselves to Soul Point and who puts themselves in the position to drive this game to victory.
Yeah, I'm feeling fairly confident right now. OSU has all of these ultimates up. So as long as they're able to be decisive and pick which fight they really want to go all in on, whether that be just trying to get rid of this Camille and then running towards that drag, or going for this 4v4 at the bot, maybe you use that Scion ult to get down there a little faster and make it a 5v4. They need to make some kind of decisive, confident play if they want to really bring themselves back into this game.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. There needs to be a snap call, a snap decision to make a play to win. Because at this point, singles and doubles, hell, not even triples are going to do it for you. You need to swing for the fences. You need some home runs. You need some grand slams if you're going to come back in this game.
Absolutely. And right now, it looks like they're giving up the bases. They take home base right there. Gets that tower down. Now it's just that inhibitor wide open. The Camille, though, Shocky is a little bit too far in.
Yep, Shocky is taken on down. A little bit too big for his britches. And actually right now, with a 50-second death timer, if Ohio State wants to, they can posture around this dragon going for Soul Point here. It is a 5v4. Shocky does have teleport available, so they'll have to be quick if they want to, but there is an opportunity. There is a window for Ohio State to mount a comeback here.
Yeah, surely not impossible for them, but looking slimmer by the second, though, as they have the players hanging out near the drag. But are they gonna be able to actually not have to worry about anything? It doesn't look like UC wants to fight this. So they know they're down that Camille, that star player right now that's been able to just go in and disrupt so much. Smart to give it up here by them. But you give OSU the point, the Soul Point now. So you're gonna have to be worried about that in the next 5 minutes. You got Baron up in a little less than 3. So OSU, they're not done yet. They still have to focus on this Baron fight.
No, they're certainly not done quite yet, but they are fighting to the nail. Again, what a banger of a series so far, everybody. What a banger of 3 games we've had. There's not been blowouts. There's not been just complete runovers. These are 2 teams that are fighting for that title, for that trophy, for that prize money. And they're both showing that they want it. It's just a matter now of who wants it more.
Yeah. You can tell the grit from both of these teams really shining through here. OSU, they're not down. They're down, but they're not out. And you see, even though they are at quite the advantage right now, they still see OSU as a threat. So smart decision making still coming through here from them. Both of these teams so highly skilled going through here. A little over a minute remaining now on that Baron. It's just clearing ways back and forth. Maybe someone pushes up a little too far. Maybe they don't. Try to get a pick. Just playing it slow right now. You want to wait for this Baron to come up before you make any drastic plays.
Yeah, but it looks like both these teams are kind of waiting for that. We do have K-Man doing a little bit of counter juggling. Does go ahead and steal away the red buff. And yeah, we just have a little bit of some posturing. Baron's in 70 seconds. So we definitely want to, for both teams here, get themselves set up, get themselves established, and get it figured out for how they want to approach what could be the last team fight of this series.
Yeah, and it looks like OSU is deciding to take control of this mid lane and probably be the first ones at the Baron, so that way they don't have to worry about getting collapsed on, and instead rather focus more so on where's who coming from. But as I say that, it looks like a teleport has to be made to go to bot lane as Camille is solo pushing with, oh no, never mind, Talia is also there.
Yep, we've got both soul laners in the bottom side now. However, you're up one less teleport now for OSU. They burned one of their 2 teleports, and that's, if you're UC, that's exactly what you want. Congratulations, Ohio State. You burn 1 teleport, we still have 2. We can send both of our soul leaders back here for this Baron, make it an uneven fight, and you won't be here in time.
Yeah, this Scion's gonna have to use his teleport to make it there in time, and that they do. The Talia, though, also using that TP to head over there as well, so still gonna be up.
And this Baron is absolutely getting melted. I don't think there's a way for OSU to get on in. And OSU does get in, though. Somehow Miller being bounced in by the Weaver's Wall. Steals the Baron with the smite. Oh my gosh. What the hell is going on, Ohio State? You just pulled a rabbit out of your hat. And it's not even time for the magic show.
Yeah, I mean, that was hardly a rabbit. It's like they just pulled out a polar bear out of that hat. That shouldn't have been something possible.
K-Man's going on in. He wants you to class because he is mad. He wants to get on back. However, I don't think it's too much. Flash forward with the Blade Caller and the Feather Storm. However, it's not enough. Miller's countering back in. Nature Guy's coming on in. Down goes Beyond. He is sent to the Beyond, as well as Karma.
Wow. I'm just still looking for these big Hamlets hanging on the side.
And there goes in. Great job from the side of Hamlet to counter that with the Zanyas, but it is not enough. The stopwatch is not enough. K-Man is forced into the stasis from Guardian Angel, and I don't think there's too many angels on that side. Got the side of Ohio State making a massive comeback here. It is Shocky against the world. He takes down Cyborg. He takes some Raptors, but I don't think he's getting too much outs out of that.
Yeah, but I mean, still, he was able to push up that mid wave and keep the pressure going on there, so they couldn't throw the Scion down. That could have been game ending. So Shocky making a good call, keeping them occupied and stalling the waves pushing from mid. Now this Dragon up in 20 seconds, soul point for OSU. Now UC, even though they're up still, at least 2K gold, they are on the back of their heels. They gotta make sure that they do it right. The sweat is beating from their heads right now. As soon as they thought that they were up and maybe in the clear, they lose it to a smite on Baron and now have to be the ones playing behind.
Yep, and Shocky's just saying, you know what? You guys can fight the Dragon if you want. We know that Ohio State wants it. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take top. He wants to go for top tower. Cyborg has respawned. Dragon Soul. Chemtech Soul has now gone over to the side of Ohio State.
Red team's turret has been
They did manage to get a tower on the top side, but nothing else. So a little bit of a Pyrrhic victory on that one if you're UC, but they at least traded for something. You didn't sit there and say, let's posture around Dragon. Hopefully we maybe get something, and then, oh no, we can't take Dragon, and they don't do anything.
Yeah, and because of all this time they've been using here, this Baron buff is not gonna probably see too much more help when it comes to taking these towers, so OSU being down those couple could actually be really, really nice for them. So the waves will be pushing themselves for the most part. You can see Shocky now going towards the bot side to probably just end up doing that again. They don't have that teleport ready if they want to make their way back, though, and try to make this fight a little bit more skewed into their favor. But you have that tower, thankfully. I don't think you're too worried on the side of UC right now. It's just playing defense.
Yeah, right now if you're UC, you're just playing tower defense. You're saying, okay, let's go ahead. Let's just clear our waves. Again, let's keep having Shocky in the side lane. He can still do the Lord's work for us and pressure in any of these towers. Remember, there's only one inhibitor tower standing, and it's barely standing. Fight going in. K-Man is taken on down. Stasis for Miller. It's nothing. However, there's not really a wave coming on in for OSU. There's a wave now, but no longer having that Baron buff. And Weaver's Wall coming in to pinch them on off. They're still going to be able to get this tower, but it is going to cost them a little bit more HP. However, you got the side of Shocky on the other side, playing the macro game, has already taken bottom tower, bottom inhibitor, taken the middle inhibitor, is looking to take all 3 inhibitors, forcing the teleport out of fire, trying to see if he can get on out, using the Hextech ultimate to dodge out both the Shurima Shuffle and the Devastating Smash. Managed to get all 3 inhibitors down for the side of UC. The Solid Snake operation was, in my opinion, a success. You may have given your life, soldier, but damn, you tore them up beforehand.
Yeah, we'll give you one hell of a statue, bud. You don't worry about it, none. I mean, that was a great trade. You just traded out your inhibitor turret and inhibitor mid for another inhibitor turret and 3 inhibs for the side of UC being up now. With that, they are so stoked about that trade. Baron is going to be up in a minute. OSU need this Baron. They're able to steal it before. Miller's been insane with these smites, so as long as they position well for it, I feel like this could totally be in the bag for them. However, if we see 1 or 2 get picked off, it's going to come down to, can you just steal it again with the smite? Can Miller find a way through and take it one more time? Or will UC grab that Baron and then it's just game over from there?
It's going to be tough to see how they try to balance them out, but that's what it is going to be. It's going to be a quick balancing act. It's going to be some smart decision making. Again, right now, all the lanes are on a ticking time bomb because you've got double supers pressuring on in onto the side of Ohio State. And Camille's already going back on in. Shocky saying, you know what, we're just going to take it. Hamlet and Shocky saying, we're going on through. However, they cannot stop the unstoppable onslaught. They do force Sion to burn that ultimate. However, they're only going to have Shocky keep pushing. They're bringing Talia back. They're saying, Hamlet, we need you in base. We need you to clear things on out. Nature's Grasp coming on in, forcing out the flash, and not the flash, but at least the Feather Storm. Ohio State's going in for the kill. They want the Nexus. They want the base. They are not able to, though. K-Man stays alive. They take down Miller. It looks like Ohio State's on the retreat, and with their jungler down for 45 seconds, is this the window that UC needs to be able to take this Baron? You've got double super stacking that top lane. You can see those pings going on down. What is going to happen with these plays here? What are we looking for? Shocky's been spotted out by Ohio State thanks to some warding.
Boy, is it looking scary right now, OSU. They just kind of want to be here for the Baron. They just kind of want to entice them away from it. You see, if they do manage to get that Baron, it's all over. Shocky made a great play there, not continuing that push top and try to challenge that Sion to make it there. But instead, they realized that they were going to lose that fight, and then the Nexus would have been taken by OSU. Now, they have the chance to go for this Baron as OSU are probably just going to have to go for another trying to steal it with
definitely a bear for them unless no way what? OSU blew with the sniper from all the way downtown, deals it away from K-Man, beats out the smite with, I believe that was 40 HP. OSU's looking for the kill. They are looking to come on back, but they're still down double inhibitors and 30 seconds on Elder Dragon. All 3 inhibitors will still be down for this Elder fight. So if this Elder fight goes for a long time, Ohio State will be in jeopardy of this game being taken from them just from supers.
Wow, I mean, yeah, the supers are just absolutely demolishing right now. Granted, they have the one of their own hanging out at mid, so they won't have to worry about that too much. It seems like they split fairly well here, so that they can push up those side lanes as much as possible. But UC already set up for drag. They're going to see the players going through here. They know they're split up. They don't have to worry about the Azir, which is probably who they're worried about the most. I feel like they know that they have this fight in the bag once they notice the Azir isn't going to be anywhere there for it.
Yep, and Hamlet will be able to stop the Azir teleport if she chooses to do so. Does end up with the Weaver's Wall, is able to do it, and cannot be stopped on Hamlet's side. So Hamlet's going on in. Cataclysm coming in as well as the quickness inside the Hextech ultimate. It is the ultimate mosh pit. It is the ultimate rage hit coming on in immediately being blown up here. Hamlet is low. Shocky is forced low. The Elder Dragon goes over to the side of UC. And they are not out of the woods just yet. However, Beyond does take down Blue. It looks like they are going to push. They're trying to go for the end here. K-Man is trying to stop Knight from getting the back in. As delay as much as possible, delay as much as possible. That is the name of the game because you've already got carries jumping on in, trying to go for the game.
Yeah, and now they're already there, like you said. It's that Azir there. I wish they had just swapped the Azir and Sion or to which lanes they were pushing so the Azir could have been there guaranteed for the fight instead of the Sion. They just missed out on so much damage that Azir is the carry of the game and it just looks like
they're dodging back on in. The Cavs is coming in as well. The Shreever Shuffle coming on in. K-Man is low but not out. OSU is down and they are knocked out. Ace from the side of University of Cincinnati Pink and the series 2-1. Going the distance, going all the way. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you end a tournament. 2-1 on the side of this matchup. University of Cincinnati Pink coming out over top of Ohio State Scarlet. GG, well played. What the hell of a series that was.
That was crazy. They lost the Baron twice in a row, but were still able to pull it out in the end there. I really thought OSU was about to make their comeback and show up with that Baron buff both times, but in the end, you know, UC, they saw victory in their eyes. They weren't tired. They weren't done. They were ready to take it home, and that they did. So good on them.
Yep, after 12 hours of gameplay, we now have ourselves a champion, a crowning champion of this Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open. It is University of Cincinnati Pink. All the players there deserve that title. They have earned that title, and man, what a day it has been of League of Legends, everybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely insane day. We saw some great plays made from basically everybody on all teams today. So good job, everybody. If you weren't able to make it to semis or not, I feel like everybody showed up today. So good on them. But at the end of the day, it's UC Pink with the victory. They're going to be taking that cash prize home and probably going to hang a little something up on the fridge.
Definitely will be able to take that cash prize home. I doubt they'll be able to hang the glass trophy onto the fridge, but you know, magnets are pretty strong these days, so you never know what they could do. But everyone who showed up today, all 10 teams, thank you so much for participating in this tournament, in this event. All the teams that showed up, we had teams from Cleveland, from Akron, from Cincinnati, from Columbus, from Tiffin. We had a lot of Ohio being represented here, and we love to see it. Thank you, Game Arena, for being able to host this event, put this thing on. Was a great time. Thank you to my fellow caster here, Mito, for coming in from Kent State to help us out with that. And thank you so much for everyone being here. Congratulations to UC Pink. Well deserved, well won, well earned. And until next time, everyone, this is going to end it here for us here. So until next time, be safe, be healthy, be good to each other, be good to yourself, and have a great rest of your day. My name's Basket of Knives. This is Mito, and this was the Game Arena League of Legends Autumn Open. We'll see you next time.